The Z to Z Podcast.
Good morning, good evening, or good day, and welcome to the Z to Z Podcast, the home for Xbox Achievement Hunters and Gamerscore junkies. I'm your host, Brandon Fream, and thank you so much for listening. At Z to Z, we love gaming, and in particular, grabbing achievements and gaining Gamerscore. We do news, reviews, and interviews. If it's about achievements, we'll unlock it. You can find show notes for this show, as well as previous shows, on our website, z2z.com. This is episode 117. You can also contact us with questions or comments on Twitter at Z2Z, Z-E-D-T-O-Z-E-D, over at our forums, forum.z2z.com, or email us directly, contact@z2z.com. So, we got a full-on show with Proulx. You're here. How are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. How are you doing?
Wonderful, thank you. And we've got Randy. How are you doing tonight, Randy?
Oh, I'm doing okay tonight.
Great.
Actually, I'm doing a little better than I think. Maybe not good, but a little better. You know,
Better than okay.
I've had a good day of gaming today.
That's fantastic to hear. Now this is post Friday Magic, because usually we are on Fridays, but
That's true.
We're recording a day late. We're recording on Mario Day.
That's right.
That's kind of fun. But you know, nothing special. But I was like, my son was really looking for a sale on Odyssey. Like, that's what he wants so bad. But anyway, what was so great about this week?
Well, it wasn't this week. It's today. So
just today.
I mean, yeah, I didn't do a lot of gaming this week. You know, I did my usual, played Magic on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then. So today, though, I've been working on the Doomsday Heist again. It's coming along real nicely. So we had an accident today. We got our progress reset, but we weren't very far in. So we started fresh. We got all the mishaps wiped clean. We started fresh, and man, we are killing it. So in just today, starting from scratch, we're almost halfway through Act 2. So feeling pretty good about it. We did the server farm, which I consider one of, if not the hardest mission of the entire heist. First try, no deaths. No deaths, no restarts. First try. It was amazing. So we're doing that, making awesome progress. So that was good. It was a good day of gaming. I don't think I talked about it last week because I think it happened after the recording. But myself and one of my other friend that's working on this with us, we were both labeled as bad sports.
Oh,
because
oh no.
So this is not something you want to have happen in GTA Online because it's terrible. So what happens is you're labeled a bad sport when you quit out too many times. So every time we die or fail a mission, we would dashboard, which counts as quitting the mission. It gives you bad sport points, but it also doesn't reset your mastermind progress. So that's how you make this challenge, doable by normal human people.
Sure.
It's still hard, even with quitting out, but it just makes it more doable. So we had that happen. We're like, okay, no big deal. We'll just invite you to our lobby. Who cares? You can just, we're not playing in public matches. Doesn't matter.
Right.
Well, it turns out you cannot play with a not bad sport when you're a bad sport, even if you're invited.
Oh, no.
You cannot play together, period. And bad sports get a not removable dunce cap on their head for the time of the punishment. So, but unfortunately, you can't keep the dunce cap. So I even saved it as an outfit, and now the cap is just gone. So you can't wear that in a public lobby. So everybody in the lobby you're in has a dunce cap on because they're all bad sports. And the bad sport lobby is like,
it's like the hell server.
Like post World War III, like everyone's Mad Max. Like there were people in that server that are like level 650. They've got like full body, full face tattoos with like a skeleton face. And like they're just going around like blowing up everybody. So
that's
yes.
funny.
scary place, the bad sport server, because I guess you also get bad sport points for killing people a bunch or like blowing up their vehicles or something. I don't know.
Sure.
There's a few things. So the first punishment is 2 days. So you have 2 days where you're stuck in the bad sport server and you just have to wait it out.
Okay.
So that was so what happened was what's now being called the plane incident. So we're on the mission of the Doomsday Heist where you fly DeLoreans. They're converted DeLoreans that are also capable of flying, and you have to fly through the air, and you have to fly close to this plane until you gather enough data, then you blow it up. So there's also some helicopters that chase you, and they take 2 rockets to shoot. They also have rockets in these DeLoreans.
Well, that makes sense.
So I was on helicopter duty. So I was shooting the helicopters. I shoot 2 rockets. Well, one of them missed and hit the plane, but I didn't realize that had happened. So the other 2 guys were off hacking the plane when it does a full 180 roll, completely upside down. And we're like, wait a minute, that's not supposed to happen. And then it goes nose down. We're like, that's not supposed to happen. Meanwhile, we're still chasing it, trying to catch it. So it turns out I hit the plane with a rocket, and that blew up the plane. That ended the plane, and that's when we dashboarded and became bad sports. So it was just like a streak of bad luck on that mission. So yeah, after that we had the accident. No big deal. We restarted, and we're much better off now. Now we did have a good laugh out of the plane, but.
That's hilarious.
Unfortunately, it ruined our heisting for the weekend because we could no longer connect to each
bad
other.
Sports. Wow, I didn't realize. I mean, we had talked about those kind of hell servers in other games and stuff, but it's
real. Yeah, it's real. I didn't spend a ton of time in it. I was just interested, so I ventured out of my base to see what was going on. But yeah, like just looking at the list of players in that server, like the average level is like 5 times higher than the average level of a normal server.
Is it? Why would that be the case? Just because they get more XP for just they go griefing everyone?
Because they're the people that just play GTA Online all the time just to grief. Because I mean that's the fun part of GTA Online, I guess, is you buy a bunch of shark cards and you go grief people. I don't know. I mean, I just assumed that was part of like I don't understand why they put those people in servers because like. That's why you just don't play in a public server, because all it is just people going around in jets, like shooting people down with rockets.
Yeah, it's not like you just regular public
servers.
Assume
that's what happens.
Are like squeaky clean or anything like that. You get griefed on that game more than anything else. Like if these are the griefiest of the griefers, man, I would not want to spend any time in that server.
I survived. So I was flying around in my helicopter, and like I'm surprised I lasted as long as I did. There was some guy that was kind of like. Noticed me flying around, and like he was in a helicopter and he kind of like circled me a couple of times and then backed off, and then I don't know, someone blew me up with a rocket or something. I don't know, but I wasn't instantly killed when I ventured out of my base, but like there was definitely like wars going on in the server. So my understanding is though, like if you go back there like 5 or 6 times, you get like a 2-month bad sport punishment.
Oh wow,
jeez,
that's severe.
So it's brutal, and it's. Because it warns you, the game warns you over and over again, but because it warns you all the time, there's no actual indication,
like the boy who cries wolf.
Close. Yeah, so like that was the thing, is we just assumed it didn't matter, because like we saw it every time we quit out a mission. It says, oh, if you quit out too many missions, you'll be labeled a bad sport, and it's like, okay, whatever.
I don't buy it.
Yeah, and then this one time, like you load in the game, oh, I've got a dunce cap on. What's that mean? It's like you're a bad sport now.
That's so funny that you have a dunce cap. Is it like
it's really funny,
comically large, or like
okay. It's like twice as tall as your head, and it's got like it looks like it's made of paper.
That is great.
I wish you got to keep it though as a souvenir from your time in the Mad Max world.
That's funny. Other than that, like there's no other. I mean, you just call it the Mad Max world because it's just. Everyone's a disaster, right? There's no
the world's
graphical
the same.
changes or anything.
Yeah, it's just everybody's like like fully tattooed up and just like warring with with each other.
It's
all
the darkest
time,
timeline.
It's the Biff Tannen timeline.
Yeah,
I got you.
Yeah, so that's my adventure in GTA. That's pretty much all I played this week. So, I mean, other than Magic.
How close are we to completing that?
Oh, we're still ways off. So we've got about half. We're about halfway through with a 3-person run.
Yeah.
Then we'll have to do the 4-person run. And then we'll have to do the 3-person run again with Proulx. So, I mean, for me, I've got 2.5 more runs to get everybody the achievement. To get me the achievement, it'll be 1.5 more runs.
Sure.
And yeah, so I'm looking forward to that achievement though. It's like 50-something ratio.
Right.
Yeah.
That'll be my biggest ratio by about 25 points. I think my highest one is Gra at around 25.
I can't imagine it's going to go down tremendously.
Yeah,
either.
with how many people
I think
play that game.
I think it's gonna hover around 50 for a long time, just because I assume at this point pretty much everybody who's gonna get it has already gotten it.
Yeah,
I mean, there's gonna be a few people like us that only play we can only play like a couple days a week for a few hours. So like if we just sat down for like 3 straight days, I mean, we could knock this achievement out in 3 days probably, with the experience we have now. But it's just a matter of we don't have 3 days to just sit down and play GTA for 12 hours a day for 3 days. So,
well, can you just bypass it by getting a bunch of shark cards?
You can't. This one, shark cards will help you a little bit, but I mean, you have to master those missions and be very good at the mechanics of GTA, because you can buy better weapons, you can buy better vehicles, but they're really, once you spend, I want to say I've spent like 5 million. Like 5 million is to get you to like the comfortable zone. If you spend any more than that, it's going to be like another 5 million to give you like a 5% upgrade on your gun that basically does nothing.
Right.
And then after that, there's not really anything else to spend your money on. So,
what about a boat?
Nope. Don't need any boats.
Gotcha.
Need a helicopter, need an armored car, need 4 guns that are fully upgraded, and a lot of body armor.
And some snacks.
That's pretty much it. Some snacks. Snacks are free now, though. We found free snacks.
Free snacks? What?
So we don't have to drive to 18 gas stations now after every mission. Turns out, in my base, you can just talk to the secretary and get as many snacks as you want.
Oh, man, that's awesome.
Yeah, so that saves us a lot of time.
Yeah.
No more trying to buy 30 P's and Q's at 18 different stores.
That's funny.
Just get them all at the base.
That's awesome. Fantastic. Well, Proulx, what have you been up to?
I've actually been playing about 8 trillion games, so I'm kind of on the opposite end of the spectrum that Randy is. I started this week, and I'm like, you know what I'm going to do? Like, this was Saturday, so the day after we recorded. I'm like, I'm going to play Brave, because it's games with gold right now. And it's one of those games that I've been meaning to play for a while, and it's easy, and it's an old 360 game, which I've kind of been on this kick of doing. And I played through it, and I beat it Sunday. So it took me, I played it for a good chunk on Saturday and a good chunk on Sunday, but it was basically a day. I really enjoyed that game. I actually really liked it. It's
really?
Yeah, I thought it was good. You know, it's not amazing. It's not the most incredible game you'll ever play, but the controls were solid, and it doesn't overstay its welcome, and it's just challenging enough not to be annoying. But it's all, I mean, there's just collectibles and stuff, but it's not crazy. And I thought that the actual gameplay was fun. So I did that, and I played that in a day. And then, so the next day I'm like, okay, what else do I want to play this week? And I had Rango sitting here. And so I put in Rango and started playing through this game. And I'm like, this game feels really familiar. Like, gameplay wise, like the upgrade structure wise, everything about this game feels like it was ripped from Brave. And I did a little digging, and it turns out it was the same company that made both these games about a year apart. It was Rango first, and then Brave second. And they are down to the achievements, down to upgrading your characters, down to the end of the game grind that you'll have to do. They did not change much. It's basically a facelift that they put on Rango to make Brave.
Nice.
It just so happened, it was just a coincidence that I happened to play these games back to back. Otherwise, I probably would have completely forgotten. But playing them right next to each other, it was like, wow. They didn't put a lot of effort. They just kind of slapped a new coat of paint on Rango and called it Brave. Rango wasn't as good as Brave. I guess they did improve some things. But anyways, I played through both those games, got them both done real quick. Lickety split, and that was it. I also started Manual Samuel on Sunday, which I have some thoughts on, but I know we try to save those for when we're starting to do our roundup and stuff. I beat the game, my first playthrough, and a lot of the chatter about the game was play through it once, don't read a guide, because you have to do 2 playthroughs anyways. So I did that, and it's silly and kind of fun, more frustrating than fun, I think, but...
How long did it take you? Did you go through the main story so far?
Yeah, I beat it. I beat the main story. So,
how long did that take you?
I would say it took me 2 sessions, probably 4 hours, I'd say.
Okay.
On the outside, I'd say it's not a long game. It really depends on how well you do, but it's like 4 or 5 levels, maybe. Yeah, sections. They're not even levels. They're like different scenarios that you get put in.
Yeah, I think there's like 8 technically to 8 levels.
Oh yes, maybe what they call levels, but what I consider like
chapters or whatever,
different situations that you're actually put in. Like there's a driving section, and I don't even know, maybe that is only 1 level, but they kind of separate it weirdly. Anyways, so I played through the game, beat the game, man, that last boss. Lots of thoughts, and we'll go through them later on in the month, but I'm not really looking forward to playing through it a second time, and I'm definitely not looking forward to doing the time trials. Ugh,
yeah, that's going to be real tough.
That's going to be rough.
That's going to be super tough. I think I'm going to save those. I made a roadmap of what I need to do on my Sunday night playthrough, which by the time this comes out, you can actually catch on YouTube. It'll be uploaded if you don't catch me live on Sunday nights. 10 to 10:30 start-ish is when I go till about midnight over at the mixer.com/Z2Z. And, well, I guess it's technically Fream, isn't it? Since it doesn't host me. Anyway, my Mixer definitely has it, Fream. But, yeah, I'm going to pass on those time trials until maybe the third time around. I got to get better at just managing all the things you have to do.
Did you beat the game?
I did. It took me 110 minutes to go through the story.
Okay.
So
maybe it took me less than I thought, or maybe I'm just worse.
That's how long my stream was, and I went from opening to credits.
Okay.
Watching cutscenes too. I didn't skip any of those.
Did you like that? The end boss to me was by far the most frustrating part of that game.
Super frustrating.
Yeah.
And you can watch on the stream. That's when, thankfully, I had some friends in the chat help me out, and Chin Doctor was trying to help out, and he blatantly told me the wrong advice. And so, I was getting incredibly frustrated, and then he's like, yeah, sorry, I guess I hadn't played this in a while. I forgot. Sorry. And because it was literally the exact opposite thing I needed to do.
That's funny. Yeah, it's a shorter game. Like you, I'm not looking forward to the time trials. The big things for me, I think, is the car sequence and the end boss. I don't want to do time. I just was so much frustration in those sequences initially. I just can't imagine that going for the time trials over and over is going to be fun, but maybe it won't be as bad as I'm thinking, and it'll be enjoyable. It's an interesting game. I haven't played one like it before, so I was never into co-op or anything like that. So it's definitely interesting, and the charm. I'm
looking forward to talk about.
Yes, you're right. We're not going to dissect it now. So, anyways, other than that, we, as you're very well aware, Fream, we got into this now celebration, TA's 10th anniversary celebration.
That is correct.
So I have been scattershotting all over the games that I have, trying to get this. Unlike who you just mentioned, Chin, who apparently got it done in I think it was about 38 seconds. He got all of the letters done.
Pretty much.
It was amazing. It came out.
It was honestly, it was no hyperbole here. 2 hours and 15 minutes.
Yeah,
that's the actual time of first achievement. And how many letters is it? I didn't even count it up.
Oh, it's I don't know, 25 or something. Maybe no, it's more than that.
So
probably.
You're spelling happy birthday true achievements, right?
Yep.
So, yeah. And he just... And he was done. I'm like, did you even breathe when you were playing that? Like, it's insane.
Like, I've been working on it, like, literally since whenever the day it was that it came out.
I got my first one today!
Yay!
Yeah.
I've done Happy Birthday True. That's where I'm at now. So, I'm not going to go in depth on everything I've been playing because it's just a smattering of what achievements are easy and what games that start with these letters. But I especially like it when it crosses over with an RTDL achievement.
Hell yeah.
So that's what I've been really doing, like getting the double dip here. So I've been playing some stuff like Viva Pinata, unfortunately, and Crackdown 2. That was a double dip.
Why do you guys not like Viva Pinata? So many people don't like Viva. How do you not like Viva Pinata?
You know, I don't, because it's way too much of an investment. Like, way too...
It's not, though. You can beat the game in like 15 hours.
I have no idea. I never made it that far. I get 3 hours in, and then all my pinatas get eaten, and I get real mad, and I don't know what the heck is going on. It's just way too much to pay attention to all the time.
Yeah, but there's some of them are supposed to get eaten to attract other pinatas.
Yeah, I guess. That's the thing. It's not... I don't know. Maybe with a guide it might be okay, but I remember like initially playing it, and it's just like, there's just too much to keep track of. Do you want...
That's why you look in the book. The book tracks everything for you. It tells you the requirements you fulfilled and all that stuff.
Right, but okay. So, like, you got a worm pinata that comes in. Well, that's easy. That's the number one pinata or whatever. So you get the worm pinata just because that's the freebie. And then, of course, now I have a worm pinata in my garden. And then, of course, now that I have a worm pinata, the bird pinata is going to come in and eat my worm pinata. Well, now I only have one pinata left. Fine, okay. Am I supposed to just like follow this upgrade path?
Yeah, but
it's like the predatory upgrade.
But you have the requirements for the worm, and then more worms will come.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. Sometimes it's
because you just maintain that requirement for like all the baseline pinatas, and more of them just come, and you don't even have to do anything; they just appear.
Yeah, but do I want to keep those bottom level pinatas?
Then if you don't, you sell them for money.
I don't know. I never just
chocolate coins.
Oh yeah, they were chocolate coins, were there? I don't know. I had like 3 Viva Pinata achievements for random to-do list. I even tried to do one in Party Animals this week, and
Party Animals is not the same.
Not Party Animals. Trouble in Paradise.
Trouble in Paradise, you can basically cheat if you have a vision cam.
Yeah, which I don't. So
yeah.
How do you what? What do you mean you can basically cheat?
So when you have a vision cam, there were all of these cards that came, like every copy came with like 3 different cards, and there were a whole set of these cards. And what the cards would do is you would scan them with a vision cam, and then it would like make whatever the card was in the game. I don't remember if you had to pay for it or if you just got it, but turns out people found out how to exploit the code that the cards have on them, because I think what they did is they wrote some kind of thing that the cards translated to in the game. It was like, it wasn't just a set of pre-programmed cards. It was like an actual code on the cards that the camera would read and the game would interpret.
Oh, sure.
So people figured that out, and there are cards for like infinite money, all these kinds of things that like, because there would be cards for like 100 coins, but so somebody just changed it to 1 billion coins. And the game would interpret it. So I assume they anticipated on releasing more cards that were not originally there. That, or that's left over from testing the game or something. So what you can do is there's a website that just has all the cards on it, and you just hold your camera up to, so first you scan your infinite money card, and then you just scan any of these cards from the website, which includes all the pinatas, all the items, anything you want.
Right.
And then you just scan it, and it just appears in the game, and you get a whole bunch of really easy achievements.
I was going to say, I don't think that the infinite money would be actually that useful. Infinite pinatas, or all the pinatas, or whatever.
Yeah, I think you did have to pay for them. Like, I think all the cards had a cost. So, like, if it was like a super rare pinata or whatever, it was like 20,000 coins. But if you have infinite money, it doesn't matter.
Then it's no big deal.
you
Right.
just get them for free. So, I mean, the game is still probably a 20-hour game, even with that. But that makes it much easier.
Ugh. I don't know. I don't know about that game.
And you need to know someone with a legendary pinata because that's kind of a viral thing.
That's right.
Yeah, that's a weird one.
Yeah. Anyways, so I put it in and I got one of the 2 achievements I attempted in Viva Pinatas for this week. But other than that, yeah, just going down the list of interesting things. Played some Call of Duty Modern Warfare, the original one. Okay, whatever. BioShock. Hey, Wolverine keeps coming up on my list, so I'm slowly chipping away.
Finally getting rid of that game?
Yes, I'm getting so close at this point. I'm just going to, I think, double down and do it. Some Just Dance. So anyways, just jumping around, playing all these different sorts of games for both Random To-Do List and the True Achievement Birthday Challenge. I hope to get that done before Monday, but that's, I have to do all of achievements tomorrow, so we'll see if I can get it done. That's my goal, though.
He's still doing that. I mean, it's gonna be too late by the time the show comes out, but he's still doing that bonus for finishing before the actual birthday on the 14th or whatever.
Yeah, well, I listened to the show, their podcast, and they said that if you do it before the whatever it is, I can't remember date, the 12th, 14th. I can't remember.
I thought it was the 14th.
Yeah, it might have been the 14th. Yeah, that's what he said. But I just
Pi Day.
Oh yeah, it is Pi Day, isn't it? I want to get it done as quick as possible as well, so I can start doing some other stuff. But now that I'm in the community challenge, I just want to get that done. So,
right? No, that makes sense. Yep. Totally makes sense.
I did actually forget. I did play another game this week. I finished off Turok.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
and it was fun. It was a good amount of challenging. Good, yeah. I enjoyed it all the way through, even finishing out. I think I had 2 levels left when we recorded last week, and I finished that up. I got the super mega weapon, secret weapon, the Chronoscepter. Yeah, I got that. Turns out that the time trial achievement is actually just for completing the training course in under 2 minutes 45 seconds.
Oh, really?
Oh,
so
really?
that was much less time consuming than because I thought what it was for completing the game in under 2 hours 45 minutes, which seems doable.
That sounds crazy.
So the game is actually pretty easy to complete then.
I mean, I guess if you kind of knew
but
not necessarily shortcuts.
You just have to stop exploring. You just have to go straight through the game. Because that was the thing is I wanted to take my time and enjoy it, and I wanted to explore all the secrets and find all the ammo and the good guns and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so that was much less time consuming. Yeah, and the completion, I mean, having never played the game before, I'd say it probably took me 12 hours.
Okay.
And that was doing all the secrets. I guess obviously if I got the completion, but yeah, it's like 12, 15 hour completion depending. Could be if you played it on easy, it would probably be a little easier, but
sure,
it'd be kind of boring.
So Turok 2 is in your future then?
Yes, it is. Turok 2 looks a bit harder. The achievements, a lot less people have completed it, and the achievements are a little harder looking. I think you have to complete the game on the hardest difficulty, which I'm sure isn't super bad, but it's gonna definitely add some time to the playthrough.
Sure.
Yeah, but especially the final boss. The final boss was actually really tough. If I didn't have the Chronoscepter, I probably would have been stuck on it.
That final boss is actually one of the more unrealistic things you'll come across in the game.
You know what? I came across that waterfall you mentioned.
Yeah.
It completely ruined the immersion.
I bet it did. Yeah.
I was in this realistic world of time traveling people that run at inhuman speeds and carry 18 guns that don't reload, with dinosaurs and aliens and everything around. And then I come to this waterfall, and I can just swim up this waterfall.
Yep.
Do it in Minecraft.
Ruin the experience. Why would they put that in the game?
Is that Minecraft Steve?
Is that what Minecraft Steve does? He swims up waterfall?
Well,
you can.
Yeah, you can.
Totally can.
I mean, maybe
There it
Minecraft
is.
Steve is actually a Turok.
It's what I'm saying. It's where he came from.
Maybe.
It's all learned. Fantastic. Proulx, is there anything else you needed to touch on?
No, that was it. Just all over the place this week. So
Yeah, I had a pretty darn good week myself, and I had mentioned on the last show that I was hoping I could do it before we recorded. Didn't happen, so I couldn't contain myself anymore. I said, no, I got to do this now that the show's over. I'm just gonna stay up late and do what I wanted to do. And what was that? Hit 200,000 Gamerscore. I nailed it. I made my 200K, and nice. I hit it on the head. And the goal. So I had a couple games. I was about 800 some points away, and the goal was to hit right on the spot. And I found an achievement because I was already going to complete these games anyway. That was pretty fitting. So I said, all right, this is what we're going to do. I started up a little Refunked. Now, I didn't beat Refunked. I just went and got to the point where I knew I needed the those achievements, and then I did Her Majesty's Spiffing. But I did Her Majesty's Spiffing first. I kind of preloaded up to where I wanted to be, and then I did Refunked so that my final, it was a nice break on the TA feed, right? So I didn't just say X-Men-E from this game. I wanted it a single achievement from Her Majesty's Spiffing, the 200,000 achievement, Master of Unlocking Achievements for 25 Gamerscore. Now, granted, I'm not the master. I am only at 200,000, but I thought it was a pretty fun little achievement there. So I did that, turned everything off. I let it sit at exactly 200 for about a day, and then said, all right, it is time to get back to business. So I finished Refunked. That's a super short game. I know people have been asking because there's essentially three playthroughs. You got the first one is you have to go through and hit all of the platforms, light everything up with your feet when you hit all the buttons and stuff, so get 100% Refunked. And then the next playthrough is to, and technically you can do this on your first playthrough too, find all the collectibles. There's a series of little, are they discs? I forgot what they were already. Anyway, these things you got to go collect. There's only a few of those. They're not crazy. You go find those. And then the last one, there's time trials. That's what the three are. There's time trials is number 2. You need to beat it in under 8 minutes and under 4 minutes. And the 4 minutes one is probably the trickiest part of the achievement.
Yeah, 4 minutes was tough. It was a really fun game, though, and the controls were super solid.
They were real smooth, yeah. It worked
and
really
it was, nice. I feel like that 4 minute one is like just hard enough that the game doesn't overstay its welcome. Like it makes you play it. It makes you try for, maybe like half an hour to an hour, and then by the time you're kind of like, yeah, that's about enough, and and it's enough that you improve every time too. You're like, okay, I'm getting a little closer. Okay, maybe I'll cut a couple seconds off. Okay, got a little closer. And then you hit that 4 minutes. It feels great. You get that completion. You're like, yep, that was a good game.
No, that's exactly right. And I actually even wrote in my friend feed because it took me 6 tries to do it. So when
that's pretty good.
Like actually legitimately doing it. So I said, all right, my first time, let's just see what happens. And I got 7 minutes and like 6 seconds or something like that. And I was like, oh boy, I'm really gonna need to shave off some time to get this. And that was just kind of messing around. It's like, okay, how exactly gonna shave some time here? So let's do this. And I went from 7:14 down to 6:07 down to 5:40, and so those were my 3. And then I was like, okay, I think I get some of these tricks now. So then I got 4:08, 4:07. I'm like, oh my god, you're killing me! And then I hit like 3:54, and nice. that one felt real good. And it's not, like you said, it's. You actually have to be pretty decent at understand, like memorizing the patterns, where to go, how to, it's not really boost jumping, but like making sure that you hit your walls right. And,
you hit the wall like near the top, and then you hold the jump button so you climb it.
Yeah.
And then there's a couple too where you have to kind of like out time the platforms, like you get there before they rise.
Yep,
I think
that's exactly it, right?
And that's
you
absolutely
ride it up
crucial,
or whatever.
Yeah,
those help out a ton, and especially even like that thing at the beginning where you boost jump right off the top. I mean, even like that saves about 15 seconds just doing that.
Yeah, huge.
But yeah, so it was enjoyable, and it was nice and short, nice little. I won't spoil the ending because it actually only takes you 4 minutes. But so I completed that game. I think actually and I tried to do it so it was not as lame. But the third playthrough is going where you only touch 33% of the land masses, and so you have to like be pretty judicious about where you land. Now you can kind of cheese that by swimming pretty much everywhere, and so you don't actually have to be on that many. But I thought that was kind of a clever angle on how to approach that as well. Like, again, a little different angle on such a very simple premise for a game. So, Refunk, easy completion took me 1 hour and 4 minutes.
Apparently, I need to play that.
Yeah, nice and simple. So,
I think you beat it a little quicker than I did, actually. I feel like it took me a couple hours when I did that one. I'm pretty
MLG, so
clearly.
Yeah, so I think that's what my in-game counter was that long. But there's that. And then I went ahead and finished up Her Majesty's Spiffing, which is, I remember the commentary of, it is a really British game. Oh boy,
yes,
it is super British. Yes. And that's not saying it's a bad thing, but like the humor, very cheeky, very like it was pretty funny. It's remarkable how many of those like the kind of the inside jokes and the social commentary, but then even just listening to like, I swear when that dude kept saying "boyo," that was driving me nuts. I was like, of the one thing that would really drove me up a wall, the boyo was, my, I don't know, kryptonite, I guess. So that game was super easy, nice, and I enjoyed the the last achievement or whatever. That's how much we could afford. So hopefully there'll be more adventures in the future. We're glad you enjoyed it. Again, super quick completion, nice and easy. Fantastic. So then we move on to some actual real gaming. I decided to, because I had a little bit of time before my Manual Samuel run, to go up and do a little bit of Teslagrad. Now, the night of streaming, I went and collected all the scrolls. I finished the boss, the eyeball boss at the top, crashed down, got all the scrolls, and I'm like, okay, I know. I went down to the bridge, and I went to go cross the bridge. I was going to, start right where the boss was, and I kept getting killed on those stupid drills.
Oh, they're so annoying.
Man.
Yeah, they're so annoying.
I was like, wait, and I looked at it, and I'm like, very clearly I have to go over them. Okay, why isn't this working? I tried 3 times. I'm like, why can't I get high enough? This is stupid. I'm done. I need to take a break. It's time for some Manual Samuel. So I went and played Manual Samuel. Did an hour, just under 2 hours on that one. Played through the story. Ended up getting all the story achievements, and then 3 of the other random ones. And then it was then I ended up focusing a little bit more on random to-do list. Just trying to add to cushion my points. I needed the 3,000 Gamerscore, since I was already, because of the 2 completions that week, I already was like, well, I might as well go for the GTAC bonus, because what's another completion here? So I got my RTDL in Diablo for reaching level 70 this last week. Yay. So that was fun. And then I went and completed Teslagrad. I beat the boss, and as far as the boss goes, of course, I ended up getting over those drills as I thought you were supposed to. I don't know why I couldn't figure it out, or I couldn't get the mechanics to work when I was doing it the first time. But the mechanics at the final boss, and Big L asked me this in Discord about where I got hung up on it. I must have died 20, 30 times just on the second time his crown is floating around, and you've got the spinning blades on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
I could not pass that. It just took me forever. I was so hasty, couldn't get the timing to work. I was trying to zap through whatever. I didn't know about the little trick if you go to the far left or whatever, far left, far right.
Oh, there's a trick?
apparently, if you go to the far left or far right, nothing can hit you.
That would have been nice to know. Yeah, no, that's super annoying. That little bit, and it's like you okay, you go into that boss, you die a few times on the first loop, but you get it down, and you're like, this is super easy. This is going to be a joke, and then you hit that one part, and it's like, it just seems to be random every time, no matter which direction that you're heading in. I had no idea that there was a trick that would have been.
Apparently, there was a trick. Didn't do it. I couldn't get it to work, or even, I didn't even know about it. So I just did what are you supposed to do? And everything else, I felt like it made sense. Oh, okay. There's that. I think one time I prematurely dashed and got hit by his sword cutting thing. The other maybe 3 times I died when he was charging because I used the wrong polarity on the floor. So instead of bouncing up, I just sucked to the ground and he steamrolled me. But that was it. It was like just that timing of his head thing. And so I finished that game. That was fantastic. And I love the fact that I got the completion. But getting the completion did not get me up to my 3,000. So I thought, I got a little bit left to do Tuesday night. What are we going to do? How about we play Canadian Football 2017? Said
that scar
no
on
one
my
ever.
tag.
Randy loves this one.
Have you not finished it?
No, I don't. No.
Oh, man.
I'm waiting for somebody to finish it for me. That's
Okay.
why I haven't finished it.
Gotcha.
Because I don't know how the sports game works with the sports guys and the sports balls and the Canadian Kickoff and the.
It's perfect because
you guys do know the Canadian Kickoff, right?
I don't know what that is.
So there was a bug in the original release of Canadian football that sometimes so I've called this the Canadian Kickoff. So when the sports guys do the kickoff where they kick the sports ball, and it normally goes forward.
Okay.
Well, there was a bug where it went in reverse. So
I did not know about that.
You would kick it, and it went backwards as far as it would normally go forward. It's hilarious. So I'll see if we can find the video maybe for the show notes of the Canadian Kickoff, and it's gold.
Yeah, it sounds like gold.
Yeah.
So that it took me a little bit to get. I mean, because it's not good. It really is not good.
It's so bad.
Kind of.
I don't even know what's going on, and it's terrible.
Yeah. So here's kind of a trick, right? I looked at some of the TA guides. Macca had a guide on there. Somebody else had a guide. Neither one of those worked for me really. But there was a play that the running plays for me were actually probably the hardest because I would pick whatever I thought would work, but like I couldn't get the boost to work. It seemed like I couldn't sprint anywhere, and that was kind of annoying. And then when you get hit, like if you got hit too hard, your dude would like constantly fumble. It's like, man, come on! Like now I got to kick off with my other controller. You're wasting my time. But yeah, the 2-controller method is key, where you just immediately when you get it, you kick off, and so you always just have your offense on the field, and you can just rip through the achievements no problem. The passing one, I used Banshee, and then I did short yardage defense, right? So everybody's at the line of scrimmage. They're real close to the quarterback. And so you can just tap B and do a floater right over their heads to a guy who's wide open. I mean, every time he was wide open. And I would run all the way down the sidelines till, touchdown after touchdown after touchdown. I didn't even bother with all the, because there's one for like completions, a number of completions. You got to get 10 of them. I didn't even bother with that until way later in the game after I got all my tons and tons of yardage for that world record holder or whatever that achievement is. Super simple. Then I think actually I probably had the most stress with playing defense because you can set it up so there's nobody in your way, and that works pretty well. But what ends up happening is it has to be the same guy doing all the plays. So the one guy has to tackle, the one guy has to sack or whatever. And so what would end up happening is like I'd end up getting a little too cutesy with my play, and it would just totally miss my tackle. Like I would dive and like lay on the ground next to him, and then some other chumbalone would come in. I don't know. It was comical. I'm definitely glad I didn't stream it because it would have looked so stupid. But the game's super simple. I wonder how long it actually took me to complete. I have it on my completion stats, but I forgot. Again, nice, easy completion. And that completion put me over the top for the bonus. It also put me at 4 completions for the week. So that's a nice little week there. Not having quite as much success this time around for this week, but I did get a couple achievements in Battleborn, a couple achievements in Plants vs. Zombies, and I have 2 other games to talk about, and they're throwback games. They're a little older. I have a random to-do list item for a Kinect title. Yes, a Kinect game. I hooked up the old 360 Kinect for Haunt. Did you guys ever play Haunt?
Nope.
It's like Kinect.
What is that one?
It's essentially like Disney's Haunted Mansion. And you're wandering around a haunted house. Not scary. It's very comical. A comical haunted house. And you're trying to find these phantasma flasks or something. Like it's essentially a potion that this guy's looking for to, not be a ghost anymore. I don't know. And very simple mechanics. You're dodging through, ghosts. You have to use the Kinect sound. I was playing with my kids today. One of the ghosts, the hard one, is where you have to, not only you got to shine your little flashlight, almost like a beam, so that you can rid the ghosts. Shining light, of course, gets rid of the darkness. But then you have to yell at your Kinect because why wouldn't you put in voice capability for a game like that? And so we're yelling at the screen to kill ghosts, which is just comical, and trying to dodge these blue ghosts that come flying at you. So you have to duck and zip all over the screen and stuff. It's super simple, but the achievement I need to do is to beat the game without dying. If you die, you automatically use one of these potions, and so I need to you need to do it without using a potion. And so if you get low and you have to it'll automatically use it if you quote unquote die, that you just have to dashboard immediately. And so I was getting real close on this. I went to the 3rd level, the hard level. They said in the TA walkthrough, go to this one. If you can make it through this one without dying, everything else should be pretty simple. So did that, made it through today, and it was real close. I nearly failed, but that was my first letter in the birthday. It was for hear ye, and that is the H that I needed to get that thing started. I'm gonna try and finish that game this weekend. It's not great. It really isn't. The Kinect, again, you're running into old Kinect hardware issues where it just doesn't track you right. So I when it says get down, you have to duck, I'm just laying on the ground. I'm if you can't realize how low to the ground I am, please just register that I am not in the screen anymore so I don't get hit, because I can't. I don't want to play this again. I want to be done with it. And then the final thing I've been playing, and this is kind of now more of a PSA than anything, Happy Wars.
Oh yeah,
it is time, friends. I am playing.
Yep, it's the end.
I am playing Happy Wars, and we'll move right into that. Toy Logic, the company behind Happy Wars, has announced, well, we're shutting down the servers. And that's fine. Yes. The game has been out, what now, for 4 years? 5 years?
I think they said when it closes, it'll be 5 years, because it doesn't close for quite some time.
Okay. So December 17th, 2018 is the closure date. That is when the Xbox 360 and Windows 10 versions are toast. That is going to be 6 years on 360, 2 years on the Windows 10. The Windows 10 version is just they've even said it's not popular. People don't play on Windows 10.
Well, they also said too they had they wanted to do more cross-platform stuff, and they just weren't able to do it with the current Windows 10 systems that they have.
Which I totally forgot how the cross-platform works. So I was like, oh, okay, so the 360 version's going. Well, I better get on my 360 so I can keep playing and close that one out and then move to the 1. I forgot they communicate back and forth still. So when I got on to play the 360, it was like, well, you last played on the 1. I was like, oh yeah, crap! Like it's a shared account still, so you should be working on the 1 version, just because that one you have to get well, I guess it doesn't even matter because ultimately they cross communicate anyway, or they will for the near future. That feature, which is the key feature here, that is what gets eliminated on, I think they said April 11th. So that one is definitely coming up. That's the bad one. On April 11th, you will no longer be able to go do the switch between versions, and that's going to really hamper my progress. So much so that I might even just quit the 360 version, because the last 3 achievements I have on that one are to reach level 50, to get 1,000 kills with my mage, and to get 10,000 heals. And the 10,000 heals is disgusting. Like, that is just ridiculous. And so that one, I mean, there's no way. Like, and you can go, there's no tracking in the game, but you can go and look. They have different milestones for, if you get 500 kills, 1,000 kills, 3,000 kills, 6,000 kills, it'll let you know, or heals, whatever. It'll let you know how close you are. I don't even have 3,000 heals yet, let alone 10,000. And to try and do that in, 2 weeks' time? Yeah, not happening. How long's April 11th away? A month's time?
Oh, just about a month, yeah.
Yeah, definitely not happening. But I could probably do the mage kills in that amount of time. That one's not going to be as crazy. Definitely not getting level 50, nor do I care to. But it should be worked on. I want to get it done because I got so close, but I definitely don't want to be. The heals are the worst. I don't know why they made them so obscenely high. It's the old seriously 3.0 type thing, or seriously whatever. Nobody wants to play the game for that long. The other date, and so this will be, you literally have 1 day, and not even mere hours before this happens. March 15th, Thursday at 5 a.m. That's when you can no longer move happy tickets between the 2 versions. So they're shutting down that part of the store. Again, that should be expected. It's not like it's ridiculous, because they're ultimately not going to have support anyway. So you transfer everything over so you can use it on the 1. Get everything you can get done on the both versions up until April 11th. Then you got to make the hard choice. Not that this matters, but on June 14th, that you're no longer being able to get them from the stores. And then December 17th, that is when they're shutting down service to the 360. So between April and December, am I really going to... getting 10,000 heals at that point actually is pretty trivial. You could divide that out, and you can get 30 to 50 heals in a game if you play your cards right. But I don't want to do all that work and then have to do it again on the 1 version. That sounds awful.
Well, that's why you gotta put it in double speed and get it.
Do it now.
All of it done.
Yeah,
I'll get all of it done in that month.
So I'm working on it. I'm doing my best.
I mean, that's what happened with GTA when we were working on it. Is they announced that it was shutting down, so we went crazy on GTA and got it all done.
I wish there was some rule in place, like 6 months notice. You should get, not 1 month. You should, if there's server closures, you should have some sort of a reasonable expectation for these sorts of things. And I know, it would be tough to enforce, and there'd be, of course, circumstances where that wouldn't play out that way. But like this sort of situation, they could do that. Obviously, if they're going to have servers up beyond even December, not these servers, but the servers for the other versions, you would think that there should be some sort of, I don't know, consumer protection where you invested in this ecosystem, you should at least have whatever they 3 months, 6 months, whatever, some sort of reasonable expectation of when this sort of thing is going to, cut off.
Yeah. What I think and obviously I haven't heard anything about being announced or anything, but this game seems to fit the Nintendo Switch really well. Like that would make a lot of sense to play on the Switch. It's a free game. And it's, not graphic intensive. It's, just jump onto a server somewhere, play on the go. You can do all that sort of fun stuff. I wonder if they if the communication between those old pieces, the 360 is holding back their ability to connect to other features, to have this persistent online, because if they can go back and forth between the one and the 360, we can already do the one in the PC and the one in the Switch and the one on pretty much everything because of how the structure it's built. If they are like, okay, look, let's get rid of the 360. That's why the April date is so soon. They're going to sever that connection so that they can focus on getting the Switch version in play, and then we can go play with people on Nintendo. That's my gut feeling for this.
That's what happened with GTA. It was the same thing. Is they needed to sever the 360 servers from the one server, or from that old import to the new import, because they wanted to do new things that were only going to be on the one version, because the 360 version couldn't handle it anymore. So that would make sense.
Yeah.
If they're going to do crossplay, it would make sense.
That's what I'm thinking. There will be boosting sessions going up in Discord, discord.io/Z2Z. So if you're interested, I know there's a crew. Big L's trying to get a crew going on Monday nights. That doesn't quite work for me because of, it's our Diablo night. Maybe we move some things around. I'll probably try and find some time. It's ultimately going to be like a nightly thing for me. Maybe play 30 minutes a night just to keep chipping away. We'll see how serious I get on focusing on trying to do this completion before I lose my opportunity. But yeah, so if you're interested, head over to the servers or the Discord chat for the Z2Z community, and we will we'll play some games. One other piece of housekeeping that I want to touch on that we totally forgot, much to Matriarch's dismay. Because she did so much work on getting us the information, and we totally forgot to talk about it. And so I feel super bad. The Tesla grad wrap-up. We had told you we're going to give you stats. Well, M pulled the stats, and we should have had them. Now, I'm going to say that I purposely did that so that I could complete the game and join the group of people.
You rigged it in your favor because you didn't finish it in time.
Right? That's what I'm going to say.
That's on you, Fream.
Was the reason.
That is on you.
So, according to M's data, we had 13 people participate. Of those, 8 finished it in the month. It completed the game, all 40 achievements in the month of February.
Woohoo! Elite 8.
And I'll be number 9, but I technically finished that in March. Sorry. And collectively, we earned 386 achievements and died collectively 6,550 times.
Ooh, that's impressive.
That's a fun stat to track.
That is.
Now, I'm looking at time played here, and I'm confused as to how this works because. So, for instance, let's look at you, Proulx. We've got 11 hours and 27 minutes.
Okay.
Right. That sounds about right.
Sure.
The time on that sheet for me was 5 hours. I think I ended up finishing at 6.5 hours.
Oh, okay.
Was my final. Kingsman, quick guy, 3 hours and 13 minutes. Of course, there's a speed run on there for like 35 minutes, isn't there?
Oh,
something like just real super fast. But everyone's kind of in that 10 hour range. Like that's, that seems about normal. And then L is up at 5 hours.
What? Really?
Yeah. So the way it's written, technically could be 34 days and 40 hours. I'm pretty sure that's just the extra seconds are added on there, or the milliseconds. But yeah, it says 34 hours and 40 minutes. That can't be right. I know he's terrible at games, but that can't be right.
No, that doesn't sound
He must have just left his Xbox on.
It would have had to be that,
overnight or something like that. Yeah, a couple of times.
As far as deaths, we had Mark. That's Mark B at 1,123 deaths. That is a ton. Our fewest deaths was Tominator. He finished at 53 deaths. Of course, he only has 4 achievements, so that's
that changes things. That
does change things. Of the people who completed it, let's see, Proulx, you're at 533 for deaths. I 521.
Wait, you hadn't completed it as the time that this stats were pulled, though, right?
No, I'm 521 at now.
Oh,
that
okay.
I've completed it. I went back and looked.
Damn, we were close. We were super close.
Right there.
Yeah.
Mine on the spreadsheet was 443, and so it took me another 100 and some deaths on on the drills and the final boss and the eyeball boss from that point. That makes sense. That's about right.
Yeah.
And it took me an hour to do all that. Let's see, of the people who completed it, who's the winner here? There was NBA Kirkland? No. He has because he must have done some work prior to this, because he only had 25 achievements in the month. Matriarch 700. Proulx, it's you and me, buddy.
Oof. Just right
Looks
there.
Looks like starting and completing is about 500 deaths is the low mark. So, man, you and I are just so good at video games.
That must be it.
That has to be it. Great. I didn't even bother looking at. I wonder if that did anything to the tracking or the stats at all. Like if we changed any of the TA. Look at recent trends.
That'd be interesting to see. Yeah, to see like the before and after of just the game in general.
Right.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
So anyway, so now we're on to Manual Samuel, which is the game of the month for March. It's we mentioned a little bit at the top of the show. We will go more in depth in the coming weeks and talk about our experiences so far. If you're interested in watching a stream, again, I am on Sunday nights starting between 10 and 10:30, and I go till midnight, Fream Standard Time. So you can watch that or catch my the YouTube videos. And we are also encouraging. I guess I made this statement without even asking you guys, but if people have videos, if you're part of the community and you made a video, you streamed and saved, we'll put it up on our YouTube channel, and we'll make a collection of playlist videos from our community. If you're interested in being a part of that, then kind of make a thing out of this. I know we had some communication with the developers of Emmanuel Samuel, and so they're really excited that we have picked this for the game of the month. So that's great news. Now they're not going to be on the show, but they're certainly interested in what we have to talk about and our experiences with the game. So it's a step in the right direction. And then, of course, in April, we'll be doing Sea of Thieves, which the final open beta is, or I guess it's not even open. The final closed beta is going on right now. I keep getting my invites like, hey, you should come play some more. No, I'm going to wait till the achievements come out. Then I'll play. Just like I'm waiting for the achievements to come out for PUBG before I play. And I got some news for you guys. The Steam achievement.
That's convenient.
The Steam achievement list is out. Now, that's not to say this is going to be the list, okay? We should mention that. This is the Steam achievement list. Nothing real scary on this list. Now, you got to play a decent amount of games, but let me give you a quick rundown on what it is for the Steam version. You're playing at least 101 games. There's an achievement for that. However fast it takes you to do this, but you need to kill 1,000 players. So, in theory, that's going to take at least 11 games, right? You'd have to kill all 99 people.
I don't think that's going to be the case.
Is that?
I don't think you even could. I mean,
probably a little longer.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe you could boost it if you knew all other 99.
A little longer.
I can't imagine that will be even close to what the case is, but
Yeah. And even playing 101, that's averaging 10 kills a game. Let me just say, I've watched.
Yeah, that's pretty optimistic.
I've watched a lot of streams. I don't think I've seen an average of 10 kills per game.
No, no.
So, that'll take a little longer. 200 players with a shotgun, submachine gun, or pistol. 100 players with the assault rifle or sniper over 100 meters. That one might be tricky, right? Distance is always tricky, especially on controller. I don't know what they're doing about aim assist or not. We got 50 players with suppressed weapons. Get 50 grenade kills, 20 with your bare hands, 10 with a crossbow, 10 with a vehicle, 10 while shooting outside of a vehicle. Like you have a gun in the vehicle shooting out. Got to kill 10 people with that. Of course, killing someone with a frying pan is an achievement. And 10 headshots with a sniper rifle. Those are your kill achievements. There is one for first kill, if you are the first person to register a kill in the match. There's also one for getting 4 kills in a match. So those are your kill-related achievements, and then we have some wins. Well, you need at least 10 wins, so that's 10 chicken dinners, and you got to do one in each. A chicken dinner in solo, in duos, and in squads. So of your 10, 3 of them have to be there. You do need 10 top 10 finishes, and one achievement is for reaching the top 10 without killing anyone. So that means find a bathtub.
That's tricky.
Well, we watched NBA Kirkland actually win without any kills. So it is possible. You just have to, get inside that circle and let everyone else die by the circle. But there's that. And then the final 6 here of worth noting. And it should mention, those 1,000 kills, those 1,000 players. There's one for, incremental. Kill 10 people, kill 50, kill 100, kill 500. Something like that. We've got loot 50 items from a care package, revive a knocked out teammate, equip a level 3 helmet, vest, and backpack in 10 matches, so armor up. You get an achievement for wearing a ghillie suit. You get an achievement for wearing a dead person's outfit. So if you kill somebody, you steal all their clothes and put them on. That's an achievement. And getting into a vehicle where the enemy is already inside of it is an achievement. So those are all just kind of goofy. I don't have any delusions about being able to complete that list, even when if that is the identical list that comes over to the Xbox One version. But it's kind of fun to think about. We're getting close now. Hopefully, they can just get the right patches out so that it smooths out the whole experience. I'm still hearing it's kind of janky.
It's interesting to look at this list. It's not bad.
I like the fact that it's varied. There's some level of creativity, and I don't see anything on here that's like, come on, really? Like, that is stupid. Why did you do that? Like 10,000 heals. That is stupid.
I agree.
Yeah, 1,000.
I think it's a really good list.
1,000 players. You're gonna put some time into it, but it's not an obscene amount of time. It's you put a solid 2-3 months into this, you'll get that easy. And then the trickiest one that I would think would be to get top 10 with no kills. That would be very difficult to force. It's just one where you just have to get lucky. So
yeah.
Other than that,
it depends on your play style.
Yeah.
If you're an active, so from everything I've heard, especially if you're starting out, you want to be in the mix. Like, you should be jumping where there are people and finding guns and trying to learn how to shoot. You're going to die right away, but at least you'll get more and more experience in learning to shoot, how the guns work, how the controls work. That's the best way to learn the mechanics versus playing the slow game, trying to find things, and because then when you do get to that first firefight, it's so quick and it happens so fast that you might not learn anything. At least that's kind of the idea that I'm taking is that makes sense to me. Like, if you want to get better at something, you got to practice it. Well, I might get better at hiding in bathrooms and attics, but that's not going to help me shooting. And it turns out it is a game about shooting. So if your style is aggressive and you're trying to go for that achievement, like, that might be really tough because you're just like, oh, I hate waiting here for 30 minutes. Like, come on, I want some action. This is so hard. But I think if you're patient and you find a good hiding spot, you might be you might get all right. But you're right. I mean, it's all about hiding. You can't, because if you can't kill anyone, no bare hands, no frying pans. Interesting. Are you guys interested in playing that at all when it does get achievements?
I might. We'll see.
No.
I'm debating whether or not I should boot it up right now that it's still in preview, so I can play it without it possibly going on my tag, and just to determine.
Well, it might be retroactive.
Oh, maybe.
Just never boot into it again after the achievements come out. You'll be fine.
No, but they can still pop even when you don't boot the game up.
Yeah, I got my Nightmares from the Deep achievement that way. I didn't even boot up the game, and all of a sudden it popped when I was like mid-prominence poker. It's like, hey, that's the one that got cleared out of the queue. That's fun. Oh, boy. Hey, you guys, this isn't really a problem for you guys because you guys don't have kids. You have dogs, but no kids. I do have kids, and it's a constant battle trying to get them away from the screen. There was even that article, and I was going to put it in for the week and decided, I'm not going to. But I'm going to talk about it anyway, where some woman in England is saying that Fortnite has changed her son's personality. Like, oh, little Johnny used to be such a good boy, and now Fortnite has corrupted him, and he can no longer focus on his studies. All he wants to do is play Fortnite all the time. And the kid's like, yeah, Fortnite's a really fun game. Like, I really enjoy the feeling I get when I play Fortnite and I win. And his mom's like, I miss my little Johnny. He's left me. I feel so devoid in my heart. All right, I'm adding all this flavor text. I don't think that's what she said, but it is ridiculous to think, like, as a parent, you are absolutely in control of what your kids play. Yeah, they're going to throw a fit. Like, when my son throws a fit when I take his Switch away, and I'm like, you're done playing for the day. He gets pissed, but guess what? Sometimes you got to be a parent and correct your child. Hey, Johnny, stop playing 8 hours of Fortnite a day. You got homework. Anyway, Tencent, the media giant Tencent, is, they want to help. Right? This is, 100% altruistic. I have to believe that there's no reason for them to do this otherwise. But they have proposed that you can have a digital contract with kids that if they reach certain academic criteria, or they do chores around the house or whatever, that you would be awarded video game time. Now, why might, I've done that in the past. I've had, hey, my son asks right now, all right, we got to clean the room, clean our house. We got people coming over. Okay, but so if I do this, can I go play my Switch after? All right, listen, you clean your room? Yes, you can have some more video game time. And it works. Like I said, I did it when I was a kid. Now, Tencent does happen to be the owner of an IP called Honor of Kings. You might know it better here in the United States as Arena of Valor. It's a mobile game, but apparently it's so popular and addictive in China that the Chinese government has to step in and say, "Okay, you are corrupting the youth of China, and you need to put in time limits that these kids can play because it is not good." Apparently there's one government official who said it's like they're treating it like opium. They wanted to treat it like a drug and regulate it because it just
Well, I guess that's what happens when you build games to be addictive and consume your money.
Yes. There is that.
It's sounding, by the sounds of this is probably like a, Clash of Clans style mobile game that's just engineered to be addictive and take your money.
It certainly is. And they're...
or time, in some people's case, when they've already spent all their money.
Right. Right, there's that.
But the same thing, like you're saying, that happened in Korea. I don't know if it's still the case, but gaming addiction became such a problem that's why everybody that had a Korean gamer tag, like an alt for Korean content, got locked out of it, and you needed to provide a Korean equivalent of a social security number, was because if you were under 18, you got locked out at certain times of the day, or I don't know if it was after a certain number of hours, or if it was like certain hours of the day, like after 10 p.m.
I thought it was late. I thought it was a time of day thing.
There definitely was a time of day aspect. I don't know if there was also a number of hours played aspect as well, but yeah, it was kind of the same thing. It just became such a problem that they had to say, hey, you guys have to register. And you can't, if you're under 18, you can't sign in after whatever time or something like that.
Yeah.
Or so many hours.
That's pretty wild. And you're constantly hearing about stories of like, guy died in a Korean internet cafe and, because he was sitting there for 6 hours before someone realized he was dead. Or that guy went on a 40-some hour gaming marathon and then couldn't stand up. He paralyzed himself from lack of movement, so he couldn't even walk to the bathroom. Or the people who absolutely neglect their children. They left their baby at home in a crib because they had to go to the internet cafe to play Overwatch or something. Like, you hear those stories all the time, and I mean, they're tragic. It's crazy. I'm not sure we get the same level here that we hear about out east, but that's why it's now classified as an addiction, clinically identified as an addiction, because it does have that capability over people. And to your point, Randy, especially if those companies are setting up systems to prey on people in an addictive way.
Exactly. And I mean, you have a game like Fortnite where, sure, you get that rush when you win. But I wouldn't say a game like Fortnite, I mean, I haven't played it, so I don't know, but I don't see the motive like a mobile game that sucks your money to actually consciously design it to be addicting. It's like, yes, it's a game, you get a thrill out of it when you win. Of course, some people are going to get addicted to it. That's true of anything.
Yeah.
And same with a PUBG or an Overwatch. They don't, like, there's no motive there. But when you have a mobile game that is pay to win, well, how do you make more money? Oh, let's use this data and make it addictive so people feel the need to play it all the time.
Yeah.
And spend money on it. Like, yeah.
That's just gross.
It's gross. Microtransactions are the worst. Let's put it in there.
There you have it. Prue, do you have anything to add? Are you addicted? Did you not hear any of that because you're too busy playing video games? You're
No.
So addicted you couldn't stick with us.
I've played games, some mobile games, to the point where you get to a point where I've put money into some mobile games, and I got to the point where it's just like, no, it's clear that I'm no longer having a positive benefit out of this experience. And I can see why it's not an easy decision to come to. Like Randy says, these systems are designed to make you addicted to them, where you don't even realize, like, all of a sudden you're like, oh God, I've been playing this game or putting all this money into this game for months, and it never occurs to you. It's just like, this is just what you do every day because you're supposed to log in every day. You're supposed to check every 4 hours. You're supposed to, pay $1 or $2 every week. It's just, these systems are predatory. And it's too bad that we've come to this point because, there's a lot of positive benefits that gaming can have, but when some of these companies are taking advantage of it, it can be a very powerful force in people's lives, and this is too bad.
And it's going to hurt the whole industry as a whole too, because I mean, as we know, most games are not like that. But like mobile games seem to be pretty much all like that now. But mobile games are a completely different market than console games or PC games. And unfortunately, I mean, of course, there are definitely console and PC games that are meant to be addictive. And even like those games I mentioned, like an Overwatch, there are addictive aspects like loot crates.
Right.
But I don't feel like, as much as I dislike them, I don't feel like they are in the same category as a game like, I mean, I've never played Clash of Clans. I just assume because it's like one of the highest grossing games, make the $1 trillion billion a day off of money, because you have to pay money to not get murdered all the time.
Right.
Or, you know, you have to pay money to be able to murder everyone around you. Like, it's just, the whole thing is just who can spend more money. And, you know, or a Candy Crush, you level 6,000 is impossible because you didn't spend $20 on it.
Yep.
And just things like that are way different than like, oh, you didn't get the skin you want.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, well, I mean, people are still going to spend a ton of money on loot boxes, and some people are going to get addicted to loot boxes. But it's not the same thing as I need to spend $50 to keep playing this game that I'm addicted to today. I feel like they're in two very different categories.
I can kind of see that, but like Candy Crush is an interesting example too. Everything exists on a spectrum. Like, you can point at either extreme end of the spectrum and say this is terrible and this is great, but every game has gray areas, and every model has negatives to it. It's tough, and we point out when we see what something is something like egregiously wrong, but it's not easy when we talk again about how much should we spend on these games, and we don't know.
Yep.
The market's still trying to figure all that stuff out, and it's not easy for them. There are developers, I'm sure, that are just, yes, this is addictive. People will spend more money if we do this thing, and without thinking of any consequences. But there are more responsible developers who are like, okay, is this something that is sustainable, that's long term?
Like Clicker Heroes.
Well, there you go. Clicker Heroes too.
No, it is.
Yeah.
It is. And I totally respect them for doing that, because they looked at this and they're like, we don't want money that you can't afford to spend.
Yeah.
And that's amazing. Yeah. That's awesome.
And we don't want to design our game around extracting as much money from you with, disregarding all negative consequences. So, it's tough. This is a big question that we talk about frequently,
and until either something happens where that becomes illegal or classified as gambling or something like that, or heavily regulated, or people stop spending money, and I don't think people are going to stop spending money anytime soon, it's going to keep happening. Because, I mean, it seems to only be getting bigger and bigger as time goes on.
Yeah. I hope it I mean, because it's a different crowd is the problem, right? Because, yeah, I mean, it's egregious to us, and it kind of is. I mean, it is a gross practice that I don't care for. But they can,
it's just the people it's the price for what you're getting. Like, right. It's like you're paying, like, they have bundles that are like $100. Paying $100 for digital currency that only works in this game, like. That just seems so excessive.
But if you don't know otherwise, I mean, they might look at us and say, well, you're paying $60 a game. Like, that's crazy. Why would you put that much money into one game right away? Not thinking like, well,
because it's like, because you just bought the whole game.
Yeah, I've
you
played
don't have
this,
to pay more every day.
A little bit here and there, not thinking that added up to $60 for what is clearly a very superficial experience, a title versus, story driven or whatever. It doesn't really matter what the game is, the fact that that's how you're supporting development. But if you don't know any better is the other thing, like, especially now that you're hitting the kids young, right? Because you can see infants on iPads, like it's just it's so intuitive, it makes sense. Whereas a controller, right, that's a set size. Like, my daughter's hands are finally big enough where she can hold the Xbox One controller. There's no way she could do a 360 controller because it's bigger. And a Duke? No, my God. Could you imagine?
Get rid of the Duke.
Normal people can't hold a Duke, so...
So, like...
Well, and I definitely agree with you that it's a different crowd, because I think it was... I don't remember if it was on the show or when we were boosting, but I think it was Mango that said his kids view video games as disposable. Like, it's not really viewed as a durable product anymore.
Yep.
It's just something that comes and goes and is disposable. Because, I mean, that's really the direction they're going. Because, I mean, let's be real. If the PUBG servers went down tomorrow, well, nobody's playing PUBG anymore ever. Because,
Right.
you know, it's disposable. There's nothing left of it.
I guess, yeah. I mean,
Yeah, it's weird, and I don't like that view of it because, yeah, I don't know. We'll see what happens with that, but I mean, that seems to be the direction. I guess that's the thing, is you don't mind spending $100 on Candy Crush because it's disposable anyway.
yeah.
You know, you don't. If it's shut down, you're like, oh, whatever. Let's move on to Cloud Crush or whatever comes next.
Right. Yeah, it's, you know, it's unfortunate that, and I'm curious where we're going to end up coming as far as regulations are concerned, if it indeed comes to that, because like, you got to think. I mean, my brother was just telling me about recently getting in. You know, he's like leaving the restroom of a bar or something, and he walked by someone who's selling pull tabs, and he was just like, "Oh, hey, look at that! Yeah, pull tabs. That's, you know, I might as well get in on that." And you know, all of a sudden he's like, "Yeah, here's $20. I'll just throw that here." Now he ended up winning, but you know, that's the gamble. That's the, you know, there's the allure, the things that have been put in place to be excited about what's happening, the thrill of, oh, I might win something here. I might, you know, get the skin I wanted. You know, whatever the case may be. And it's hard not to see some of this behavior as gambling. And for, especially now with kids involved, where at some point it's going to get to the point where like they're going to say this is unregulated gambling toward children, and that's going to suck because the last thing I do is want government officials telling me what I can and cannot play.
Yeah, and well, the other thing too is it's going to be a real mess because currently the ESRB has gambling like with real money is an adults only rating. Period. There is no exception to that. Oh. If your game involves gambling with real money and it's rated by the ESRB, adults only.
There you go.
Which is suicide in every market. That game will never be sold on any game marketplace, period. Like, retailers refuse to carry it. I don't think any digital marketplace sells anything that's rated adults only. I mean, I don't even know like where those games even go. Like, I don't like there are like 25 of them that exist.
That's a good
point.
But
I have no idea like where you would even go to buy them because nowhere sells them. I mean, most of these I think are quite old now, and any game that is meant for like mass consumption, if it gets an adults only rating, it just censors it.
Yeah.
To get down to an M because it cannot. You can't sell an adults only game.
Right.
You just can't.
Yeah.
I want to go look up that list and buy all of them.
What the AO is.
Yeah, most of them I think are like porn games.
Oh yeah, right.
I think there might be like one for violence.
Postal?
No, Postal is not adults only, surprisingly.
What's that? I know which one you're talking about.
So,
we talked about it on the show, didn't we?
Thrill Kill that was a PlayStation 1 game. It got canned when it got the rating. I think it was already kind of shaky, and then that just finished it. So you can actually download that game. I think there's a like 99% or fully finished ROM floating around somewhere.
Yeah,
but that's illegal. I mean, that's illegal, so I wouldn't do that. But if you wanted to, you could.
You know, that's good. It's interesting that you say that too, because you know, Thrill Kill. Did you watch the video that President Trump did in his summit?
I don't even want to talk about any of this because I just think it's all garbage. Every bit of it, garbage. It's there to distract you. Stop listening to it. Nothing's going to happen.
No, and I agree. Nothing's going to happen.
On.
But
let's move on.
You watch.
That's it. We're moving on. I'm editing this out. We're moving on.
It's bad.
We're talking about We're talking about Thrill Kill.
It's so stupid.
I have two things to say. One,
nope.
That video montage
Censored. Cut out.
Is
it's getting cut.
Absolutely ridiculous. Like,
I like how they used like 10-year-old games.
99% of that montage was from Call of Duty 4, which came out 15 years ago.
Modern Warfare 2.
They were so old.
I like how they went back to no Russian too. Like, that is like the most ridiculous thing that's ever happened in any game ever.
Yeah.
The most recent thing I saw, and I didn't recognize everything, so I could be wrong, but was Wolfenstein. Wolfenstein was most...
there was like one clip from Wolfenstein where like somebody got shot in the head or something.
Yeah.
Like,
one dude, he stabbed a dude from behind, a Nazi.
Oh, yeah.
And then, oh my God, they use a clip from Fallout where they shoot the person in the head point blank in the VAT system like 3 times and nothing happens, and then he glitches and his head pops off. Like, are you joking? Like,
they showed a glitch video. Yep, that's exactly.
I like how all these are just ripped from YouTube clips too. Like, there's even some that still have the overlay from the people on it.
Yeah,
like,
and let's also the most important thing about that montage is to remember every single game that they showed has an M rating, right?
Yeah,
I believe.
I'm pretty sure. Yep.
And so you cannot buy those games unless you were 17 or older.
Right.
You already defeated your argument from the get-go. It's so stupid.
It was stupid
all the way around.
And then, and the other thing, my other comment I want to say is the members that were invited to this. Yeah. So of course, President Trump. There were 3 Republican members of Congress who were invited. We had Strauss Zelnick, the CEO of Rockstar and Take-Two Interactive. Brent Bozell, Media Research Center. He's not on our side. Lieutenant Colonel Dave Grossman. He wrote a book called On Killing, the Psychological Cost of Learning to Kill in War and Society, and Assassin Generation, Video Games, Aggression, and the Psychology of Killing. Not on our side. They say Mr. Mike Gallagher, he is the president and CEO of the ESA. Mr. Robert Altman, he is part of ZeniMax, who owns the parent company of Bethesda. And then Melissa Hansen, she's a mother from Parents Television Control. Oh, she is not on our side. And then they also say Mr. Pat Vance, president of the ESRB. And my favorite part here is, this is from Kotaku, and they said, the video game industry members include today's meeting, the ESRB president, Pat Vance, who in fact is a woman, although they say Mr. Pat Vance. I'm like, come on, you guys couldn't even get the gender right? Are you kidding me? Like, please. But what if, as I go through that list, you've got 3 people who are vehemently against the video game violence. You've got 4 people who obviously support the video game industry, and in the ESRB, ESA, a couple media heads that are involved, and then 3 senators. Where's all the scientists?
Nope.
Where's all the people who have done tons and tons of research to say that this is ridiculous?
We don't believe in that.
Yeah, I don't know why you would expect this administration.
Not to mention, First Amendment is freedom of speech, right?
Yeah,
my Canadian. Yeah. Not to mention, in 2011, the Supreme Court already deemed video games protected as freedom of speech.
You don't even have to go that recent. The science has settled this, in the 90s.
Well, I'm not even talking about science. I'm talking about like this was a Supreme Court decision that happened like 6 years ago. It's already gone to the Supreme Court. I mean, it's freedom of speech. It's just like movies or books or paintings or whatever.
It's
art. Protected. Stupid. I'm going to cut all this out.
Yep, it's all gone. It's all gone. We can move on.
This is all garbage.
Yeah, let's move on.
This is all garbage. Stop listening to it. Something else is going on. They're trying to distract you.
Here we go.
That's what I think.
I'm going to change it to a topic that I absolutely am so pumped about. Release date, State of Decay 2. Are you kidding me? I didn't realize it was coming out so soon. From not hearing anything about it to, hey, by the way, May 22nd, and guess what? It's only going to be $30. Right? $30. Or is it 40? Crap. What was it going to be? It's cheap.
I don't remember, but yeah, it was in that range.
It was cheap. I was like, what? I was expecting a $60 game. Like, that's crazy.
I think it'd be awesome if Microsoft kept releasing games like this at those price points.
Yeah.
Because what was the other one that recently came out that was... Oh, Cuphead.
Yeah.
Like, it's... it doesn't have to be this big, giant production, but it can be a polished, medium-sized production at $20, $30, or $40. And lots of people are going to buy that.
Right.
I mean, and I don't think that price point carries the negative kind of stigma that it used to have. Like, because if a game, when every game was $60, I want to say it was Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts came out at $40. And it was like, wait a minute.
What is this?
Why is that game releasing at $40?
Yeah,
and because it was kind of like a red flag, like, wait, what went wrong? But now, since pricing is all over the place,
right.
I think it is much more viable to do that. And, maybe at that price point, we can see that AA game come back.
Yeah.
Which would be awesome.
It's $30. Yeah. So confirmed for $30. Now, I pitched this and so it was a little unclear because, I tend to have a big voice in the chat. And so I made a comment of a suggestion for Game of the Month for June. But people were like, hey, don't tell us what to play. And it's like, whoa. Okay, fine. I did say and put my foot down that we are going to be playing Sea of Thieves in April. Fine. Yes, I set a precedent. My suggestion for June for this game, though, is because it's got 4-player co-op. Like, that's perfect community type
It's kind of
games.
perfect. Yeah. Same with Sea of Thieves.
Yep.
I mean, 4-player co-op.
I think, is it... How big? I
mean,
you have more in your boat.
I thought it was 4 on a ship, but I could be wrong.
No, I think is it because you have a pretty big boat. Yeah, it's 4, 2, and 1. That's right.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, but anyway, 4-player co-op, zombie action, bigger world. Oh man, I am super pumped for that. I cannot wait till to play that, and hopefully, I have some friends to play with me.
So speaking of State of Decay, this just reminded me. So I think it was this week sometime, I saw somebody had tweeted that they apparently played Crackdown 3.
Oh, no, there's no
now,
way.
I don't think that's possible. Because, look at this. So we've got release dates on State of Decay. We've got release dates on Sea of Thieves. Oh, and Crackdown 3 is still silent. It's vaporware. I'm telling you, when this thing is canceled, I'm going to celebrate is the wrong word, but
It's not going to be
say I told you so.
Yeah,
It's going to be canceled. Look, the thing has been delayed for like 6 years now.
it's pretty crazy.
Like, it was supposed to be a launch game. I'm pretty sure.
Well,
I'm pretty sure.
I don't even know what to say about it anymore. Because I was going to say, wait till the X comes out. I'm like, wait, the X is out.
Yeah. It was supposed to be a launch game twice.
Yeah. Oh, boy. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll see.
We've got more sequels.
I mean, they still seem to swear by it that it's happening, but I don't know.
We've got more sequels to talk about. Like, the rumors that have broke. Well, it's now official. The next Call of Duty, Black Ops 4, and the probably the reason they announced it, like, officially, was because of this leaked photo where James Harden of the Oklahoma City Thunder and Houston Rockets, he had his camo on, and he had a hat with it looked a lot like the Black Ops 3 logo, except instead of the 3 orange lines, there was 4 orange lines. Like, wait a minute, hold on. Sure enough, yes, that is indeed the logo. It is Call of Duty Black Ops II. Now, just so everybody knows, and I'm Treyarch should know this too. The Roman numeral for 4 is actually IV. Now, maybe it doesn't look as cute on a hat if it was IV, but so they literally are going with the logo being
4 eyes.
4 eyes.
So it's. I don't believe that's entirely true. I mean, there are different formalized versions of Roman numerals, and I believe that you can. It is actually completely acceptable to display a 4 as 4.
So I will grant you that it is acceptable, but you may not call them Roman numerals. Then these are tallies.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, are they going with a tally? Is Black Ops 5 gonna add the cross?
Yeah, it's almost like
I hope there's not a Black Ops 5.
Cross.
I mean, like, are they really like? I hope they don't go. Why are there so many Black Ops?
Well, let's see. Do we never? There's no Assassin's Creed 5, or do any games have a 5 that are non like a
Final Fantasy?
I was gonna say that are non JRPGs.
Grand Theft Auto,
GTA 5, although each individual story, so that
they're all separate, so it's fine.
Not continue. Well, but I could even say the same thing about Assassin's Creed. Technically, they're not.
They're a little bit, but
they're
kind of all standalone-y. Yeah, I mean, not many.
Yeah. So
God of War, maybe? Or are they just on 4?
They're on 4. This one's 4. It's not the fourth game, but it is.
Okay.
It would be
because I mean there are a lot of games that are kind of like that.
Yeah.
But usually when they do that, they're not actual continuations. They're just kind of like all the other ones are spin-offs.
Yeah. Well, and that's kind of, I mean, people get a little nervous when things start climbing that high, and they're like, "Wait, what?"
Except for Forza, apparently.
Apparently not Forza. Well, people. What I've heard is that they're like, "Hold on, it's do I have to play the first 4? I don't want to jump in this late. I don't want to like it. Just psychologically, it messes with them, so they think, well, I'm just gonna skip that one. I don't know if there's anything to that, but that's just what I've heard. May or may not be the case. But
we got Halo.
Halo 5, that's right. Yep. That's one. We also got another announcement. I mean, announcements are just flying all over the place, but Ubisoft announces The Division 2 this time around. I got to get playing Division 1. That's on my list of things that I really want to do. I guess it shouldn't come as a surprise because it came out of the gates so hot. People were super excited about that. Don't think it had the longevity that they were hoping for.
No,
they did support it for a real long time with a lot of new modes, different things, add-ons. But maybe what I'm really looking forward to is next-gen drones. I cannot wait to really get in there with some drone controlling.
Like those ones you can fly from your tablet that are in 4 other games?
Yes.
That same model?
It's going to be great.
And when they're in that place that they show in the clip that isn't in the actual game, that doesn't have the feature.
Because you gotta get in the car, you gotta open the car door, get in the car, shut the car door, so you can fly your drone from inside.
And then they have the little iEngine logo in the bottom.
Yep. And then you lay down. You lay down in the Animus.
And then it's actually a bird in this one, but it's still a drone.
Yeah.
It's the same mechanic. It's just a bird. But the iEngine version it'll still be a drone. They'll show it in Assassin's Creed. It's a drone with your tablet.
Right. Hey, I got a message.
You didn't think I was going to give up that opportunity to throw iEngine?
Hell no. We got a message from Skeptical Mario who said he wants to ask that question more often. Like, he thought our take on how to make Agents of Mayhem better, quote unquote better, was fantastic. And so there.
Yeah, I quite enjoyed that actually. I liked how it kind of kept going. Like, we just kind of kept snowballing it.
Yeah, there's just so much we can do to make that game the best it could possibly be. Anyway, that aside, I mean, I don't really want to get into just throw out the announcement things. I don't want to really get into how excited anyone is or any of that kind of stuff, because who knows when this stuff's going to get actually fleshed out. This is kind of that window of announcements here where you start adding coal and logs to the hype train engine, get that thing moving down the tracks, so that when E3 comes around, it is full steam, ready to just blow through and just make people so excited. And so you got all these people setting the stage for, hey, guess what? We got an announcement event coming up. You should check out all the social medias because cool things are coming in late April, early May. And then from there, they say, we'll see you at E3. And then, and it's just going to continue to snowball.
Well, and we have GDC coming up in a couple of weeks too, I think. And
that's right.
I'm sure that the hype kind of starts there. And then, gets some more going.
Yeah.
Got a pre-hype GDC that pre-hypes E3, and then Liongen, and I get extra rainy that week.
It's coming.
And, yeah,
it's hard to believe it's already like mid-March already. The Ides of
I
March.
know. And is this going to be Z2Z's third E3?
It will be.
That's pretty exciting. 3 years of rain.
Yes.
I mean, not quite 3 years, but 3 E3s of rain. 3 storms.
Woo.
It's hurricane season.
That is a doozy. Yeah, there you go. That's a doozy. Well, wonderful. Is there, did I miss anything? Do we have any knobs and discos to talk about? I thought I saw some, aside from the Happy Wars we already talked about.
Yeah, so we talked about Happy Wars. Skate 2 German version was officially flagged for one of them. I'm pretty sure those services have been down for a long time. Let me see. We had there's another server closure that was announced, which is the 31st of May 2019. So that's a ways out. WWE 2K18. Let's see. I think just one more. There were 2 achievements that were fixed in Skyforge. So let's see.
Is that
is that game completable
yeah.
now? Nope. It still has 6 unobtainable and 2 discontinued achievements.
Baby steps.
So it is definitely not fixed.
That's funny. But there's a couple more. Like we're getting there, a little closer.
It looks like these ones there's some timed events that may or may not come back tied to achievements. So maybe.
Okay.
You might lose more. I don't know.
Who knows?
Looks like a mess. Looks like a mess.
Bummer. Great. Well, I think that's going to do it for this part of the show. Of course, we've got other bits and bobs here to tack on to the end, but that was you could either think of it as the main show, which we do, and it is. Some people call it the pre-show. Those people are wrong. But we had fun recording it nonetheless.
Very few people call it the pre-show.
2 people.
If you enjoyed this part of the show, or the show as a whole, or just us as people, whatever, and wanted to help out with the show, the best way to do it, the free way to do it, is share it with your friends. Let them know. Put it on social media. Give us reviews on iTunes or wherever you listen to this. If you are the truly dedicated and can afford it, we do have a Patreon. Patreon.com/Z2Z. You listen to the end of the show, we'll announce the winner of this month, the month of February. We give away a full retail game every month. So, get on board. Even a little bit will get you in the raffle for that. And every little bit is so greatly appreciated. So thank you there. If you head over to our website, z2z.com, that's where the show sits. Technically, there are show notes if you have any questions or any of that. But one of the best ways to reach us is through Twitter, at Z2Z, ZEDTOZED. You can also contact us at our email, contact@z2z.com. The other place, Discord. Most of us are chatting over there constantly, and you can get an open invite at any time. Discord.io/Z2Z. That is the show stuff. If you're interested in following me or finding me, I'm Freamhole, FREAMWHOLE. Come watch my Game of the Month streams over at Mixer. It'll be Manuel Samuel this month. We'll do some Sea of Thieves next month. You can catch me in True Achievements, Xbox Live, everywhere. Freamhole, that's the place. Twitter, @Freamhole. What about you, Proulx? Where can people find you?
Well, people can find me on TA or Xbox under the name Proulx. Look in our show notes for the spelling. But if you want to find me on Twitter, it's much easier. That's 1UpDan. That's the number 1, not the word.
Perfect. And Randy?
You can find me on True Achievements, Crandy, or Twitter, Randy2727.
Fantastic. So thanks again for listening. We really appreciate it. Thanks to everyone who made this show possible and all the people that help out adding content that come up on the tail end of the show. But on behalf of Randy and Proulx, I have been Brandon. And to all of you Achievement Hunters and Gamerscore junkies out there, thank you so much for listening. And we'll catch you next episode.
Thanks for listening.
See ya.
Z to Z Podcast presents Review Z.
All right, so we're back for our weekly installment of Review Z. I'm back from my wonderful work trip. Spazpole.
And I'm back from my wonderful gaming excursion. Planting?
Yeah, Warren. We're bracing for, I don't know. I'm getting anywhere from 10 to 15 inches of more snow.
The same thing. We're looking at 10 to 16, they're saying. So there's another 1.5 feet or so, probably.
Yeah, just what I need. More snow.
Considering how we just got 27 inches.
But by the time you guys are listening to this, we'll already have gone through, and maybe we'll have complained in the chat.
And maybe we'll be sick of shoveling again.
Possibly. Can you ever get sick of shoveling snow in New England? Isn't that why we moved here?
I was born here.
Yeah, no say in the matter. All right. Before we kick over to our review, anything for G-Task listeners this week?
Yes. The bonus for the week that we are currently in is not anything to do with the team ending under in the bottom quarter of the active participants. Why? Because that was the week that will have ended, but not yet ended for us. Okay.
Yeah.
Time travel part over.
Something to that extent, yeah. So I guess this is a good bye week in the sense that so many people are going to be racing to the bottom. It should be fairly easy to skate on through.
Yeah, I do not think that surviving the week that will have ended would have been difficult for anyone who wanted to survive.
Yeah. So, yeah. But other than that, I could use that little hiatus. It was a rough week being out for a week with only a phone.
Speaking of rough week, it's rough to pop an achievement in Turok, too.
Oh, yeah. So this week, following last week's nostalgia-riddled game, we're now to part 2. Well, the sequel, Turok 2, Seeds of Evil. This is published and developed by Night Dive Studios. Though really, isn't this technically an Acclaim game and Iguana Games? Did they really do anything other than add some achievements?
Yeah, they actually prettied it up a little bit because it definitely does look a little better than it did in the 64.
Did you go find Turok 2 on the N64 and like do a side by side just to make sure? You're like, no, they definitely.
Well, to be truthful, no, I didn't with 2, but with 1, yes, and it definitely was an improvement. So I'm just kind of taking their word for 2 that they improved it. I mean, if nothing else, the draw distances and some of the enhancements over being on an Xbox, not on 64, makes a huge difference anyways.
Yeah, so this was released on March 2nd. This is a first-person shooter, for those that are not familiar. Do we go do a genre vote on that one? I think we're all pretty in agreement. Yeah, Turok, first-person shooter. Yeah, the only thing... And the Xbox Live Store price, $19.99 for just the one game. So that's $40 if you want the set of Turoks.
I mean, nostalgia is nice, and I will admit it's definitely worth playing. It is exactly as you remember the fun of Turok. However, $20 price tag is just, it's painful.
Yeah, see, I'm actually going onto eBay right now and just seeing how much I can buy Turok 2 for an N64. Let's go see. Turok 2, N64. I can get it without a label for $6.49. I can get it great cart, $9.94 with free shipping. Turok 2 pre-owned with box. Oh no, that's not with box. So yeah, I could actually buy the N64 version for about $5 to $10.
There's only one downside, and it's a big one. The controller.
Okay. Wait, you don't like the N64 controller?
The only thing it was good for was smashing against the ground, as I recall. Trying to play Perfect Dark. I mean, I guess it was built for it, but I mean, Perfect Dark and was it GoldenEye 64? Yeah, those are like the big killer titles, and even those are still brutal with that controller.
Yeah, I mean, I guess at the time when you were coming off the Super NES and you had the analog and the directional, it was fine because that was pre-PlayStation 1. So I guess getting into that sense, like I didn't have a massive issue with it. But yes, once you went PlayStation 1 controller and, subsequent N64. Speaking about controllers, did you see that they're bringing back that awful original Xbox controller?
The Duke is coming back.
Oh my God. I have a Duke, and part of me, I just have it just for the joke of like, man, who thought this was a good idea? Honestly.
Apparently the entire design team.
Man, that's what happens when you have a state that has legalized marijuana.
You live in a state with legalized marijuana.
Okay, that's what happens if you have a design team that's using it. Anyway, so let's go. Wait through it. That was a good idea. Really? Oh God. All right. So anyway, Turok 2. So even though I wasn't on the review last week, I did play Turok 1. I've played Turok 2. I do think Turok 2, it was definitely an enhancement over 1. I do think as much as 1 had, I mean, maybe not talking on the story side, but at least from controller, graphics, all of that stuff, it definitely shows that, that sequel being, released later on the N64. And I think Turok 1 was actually close to a launch title, if not launch. This definitely had that enhancement to it, though. I will say, man, it is long. These levels are long to get through.
And truth be told, it's not like you're doing anything other than literally following a level that usually ends up sending you in many circles and spirals and killing aliens and dinosaurs. Lots of aliens and dinosaurs.
Yeah. The achievements on this one, I think the hardest one obviously is going to be complete the single player game on hardcore, but you have a persistent save state. So you could very slowly make your way through the game and just save after every difficult kill. So, I mean, it's definitely doable. And 12 people have already done it.
So, I mean, it's definitely doable.
The what?
You're going to want to have a guide. You're going to want to probably have something to help remind you from the days of yore, because I don't remember where these things are.
I don't even think I really played Turok 2 too much on the original N64. I played more Turok.
The original one, yeah.
Yeah, I was not a huge fan of the Turok 2 sequel. I mean, again, between the two, if I would pick between 1 and 2, well, it's kind of hard to say. I have more nostalgia for Turok 1 because I played it more. But if I was only going to buy one of the two games, like now, I would buy Turok 2. I just think it was a better game in terms of the controller and just, it's just, the enhance. The story is very. It kind of reminds me of Prey. Just only in the sense that you start with an Indian suddenly gets whisked off into space. Just, you don't happen to be in a bar.
Indian walks into a bar.
It's my favorite joke from the X360. So, but again, I think my biggest gripe on this game is just the $20 price point for nostalgia. I mean, I know, like, hey, we're getting everything, Oh, and if I can make any requests out there to devs who are, porting back games, I really, for the N64, I love the Blast Core. That's mine. That's my favorite.
That available in Rare Replay?
Is it? Maybe. I haven't unboxed Rare Replay. I have so much of a backlog. It might be.
Yeah, it's in Rare Replay.
Oh, it is? Oh, never mind.
So yeah, when you do unbox it, you've got your dream.
Oh, sweet. So wait.
Is there anything else you wanted?
I want some Hudson Soft games. Do you remember Hudson's Adventure Island?
I want to say yes. I really want Maniac Mansion, to tell you the truth.
What was it Millen or Milon's Secret Castle? I always called it Millen's Secret Castle, but people now, I don't know. You say potato, I say orange.
Aren't you glad I didn't say potato?
But, ooh. So, yeah, I mean, it's Turok. You guys heard the review from last week, so I don't really know if there's much more to add on it other than it is an enhancement over the first game, just like Turok 2 originally was, but it's more of the same, running around, killing dinosaurs, and finding your way via... these were early 90 first-person shooter games.
Yes, with kind of like you could bring up the old-school wireframe map, like, behind the play area, so you can kind of get an idea as to where you could go. And yeah,
but it definitely I think all of these were not, at the end of the day, they weren't GoldenEye, and that's what we all remember from the N64, or at least I do. Like, oh yeah, it's another one of those first person not GoldenEye games.
True, but I had dinosaurs. So, I mean, redeeming factors.
I guess. I think from a port standpoint, they did a great job porting it. I don't see any reason why, other than it's $10 cheaper to buy for an N64, it's better to be playing it on the Xbox One. I didn't get any laggy issues, anything like that. I like the persistent save state. So again, I just think $20 for really a port of an old game. It'd be nice if they bundled the two. If they gave you Turok 1 and Turok 2 for $20, that would be pretty
great.
Fair in my book.
I'm assuming they just probably couldn't do it feasibly with what they paid for the licensing, but who knows?
Probably.
You'll probably see it on sale at some point.
Yeah, exactly.
Worth noting, just like in Turok 1, the cheat menu are all still there, and they do disable achievements like they do in the first one.
So don't cheat if you want the Chivos.
Exactly.
Chivos!
So cheating the Chivos.
Right. Anything else to add, Warren?
No, that should do it.
All right. I guess we're going to kick it back to Fream?
The show. We'll kick it back to the show.
The show. And whatever follows us from the show. No idea. It always seems to change. But till then, next week.
Peace.
Hello, everybody. Hey, before we do the contest roundup, I totally forgot to do the video game mashup for this week. If you're not familiar with what that is where I take two video games and combine them with a common word in between. If you're not familiar with how they play it on Jeopardy or Wheel of Fortune, let me give you last week as an example. So last week's clue was... the original game in this popular series created half of this genre's name. This version is a 3D departure from classic Victorian era to modern day. This mashup would feature spelunking in the Olympic Mountains only to stumble across a high-tech underground Draculian base housing the Progressive Restoration Radical Group. Lead character Jason Belmont must save his girlfriend and stop the group from inciting a civil war. Well, a bunch of clues in there. It was quite verbose. The answer, Castlevania Lords of Shadow Complex. So the games Castlevania Lords of Shadow and Shadow Complex get merged together into that brand new mashup. This one, short and sweet. It is for week 15. Here we go. This mashup features two literary figures combining their massive works into a horrifying tale of violence and intrigue. RL and RR spin an intricate point-and-click adventure filled with easy gamerscore. So obviously I, modified the names a little bit in there, but the clues are there. I'm sure you can figure that out. And so good luck on that one. Now we have time for the community roundup. Well, let's start with the Great True Achievement Score Challenge, GTASC 2018. We are going to recap Period 8, which ended on March 7th. Our top Zeds for that period. Well, the Gorilla Pimps, featuring Stushnikin and B. Smiddle, they finished 6th overall. Congratulations, nice and high. Our near miss was Team, here you go, Elroy, this is for you, Enigma Gamer 77, featuring Enigma Gamer 77 and New York Giants for SBS. Well, they were 9 places over elimination, about 100 TA, keeping them safe. We did lose quite a few people. Probably the most disappointed was, aside from Elroy, was Mark B of the Better Late Than Never. They were the first team cut. They were the first team below elimination, and they technically tied. So there was one team who had the same TA score who moved on to week 9, and Mark B, his team, did not. You have to go into some deep rounding than what was shown there, which is a bummer because they both had more achievements earned and more gamer score earned. So, youch. Elroy, pity the foo-foo. Well, that team of Fufu Cuddly Poof and Elroy OMJ, they were 48 TA down. They were eliminated. Trump Top, Boris Bottom, the team of Spinal Clerk and Jam Pound, eliminated. Double-ended Childo, Facial LaFleur, his team, and Last Call, the team of Beer Me, chosen last. They're eliminated. Finally, Wiznyat, the great outdoorsman, his team was eliminated as well. From the individual side, well, our top Zed for the individual, it was Stushnikin. He finished 4th overall, got a huge collection of games from a buddy, and he needs to finish those before his buddy gets back. So he put in tons of gamer score last week, and it shows. Congrats, Stushnikin. Our near miss, Saucy Slingo, only 12 points above elimination. Can't say the same for the Spinal Clerk or Chosen Last, both of which were eliminated in Period 8. Well, it is the middle of the month, which means it's time to dish prizes. Yes, we have the random to-do list. We, in the month of February, as a community, had 90 people play the random to-do list challenge and unlock 560 achievements. Well, our winner, unlocking 14 achievements with a 2.5% chance of winning the prize. Yup, here it is. Enigma Gamer 77. Congratulations. So yes, you got some issues in the GTASC, but you take down the RTDL random prize. Congratulations. Our community challenge for February was shortest month of the year. Well, we had 27 entrants in that one, with a whopping 1,282 submissions, and with a 12.5% chance, it was Kingsman 2625 who takes that prize. Congratulations, Kingsman. Do not forget, the month of March is for spin-offs. If you're curious about what that means, head over to our forums, forum.z2z.com. There is a running list of things that I'm constantly updating as to what counts, what doesn't count, what's a spin-off, what's not a spin-off. So head over to there, take a look, and see if you have any of those. The Gamertag Challenge for the month of February, well, we had Crandy and Spazpole. Both of those you could unlock. Well, we had 21 people submit entries that totaled up to 405. And our winner, with a 5% chance, Rune Lord. So congratulations, Rune Lord. You get yourself a prize. The gamer tag for the month of March is Rocker Dude 5012. That's 10 letters, 4 numbers to get into that one. There's a few substitutable letters in there. Take a look at the forums to figure out what those things are. We are still doing our game of the month. We talked about it extensively in the show. This month, for the month of March, was Manuel Samuel, as nominated by Chin Doctor. next month, for April, we are doing Sea of Thieves. And so I've asked if you are interested in participating. Let us know. We'll open up check the Discord chat to see if you can post and say that you're, involved. And we want to see how many people we can get on boats, what times work for people, try and set up some sessions. It will be wonderful. Finally, I want to mention our Patreon giveaway. Thank you so much to all of our patrons out there. Really appreciate all the effort that you guys put into our show, and monetarily helping us is just fantastic. Our winner for the month of February, well, it is none other than Chin Doctor himself. Congratulations, Chin Doctor. We will get in touch with you to get you some sweet, sweet loot. So there you have it. Finally, the only other things that I want to mention are our Discord. If you haven't been over to our Discord just yet, you totally should. It is a great place to meet up with people in our community, chit chat, set up boosting sessions, games, all sorts of fun stuff like that. We've got multiple things going on right now, like Halo Master Chief still happening. So if you're interested in that, Battleborn, of course, on Wednesdays. That's always going on. There's been an uptick in people interested in Charlie Murder. A little bit, of course, Happy Wars, like we talked about on the show. People excited about trying to get that game completed before the servers go down and everything is severed. We absolutely got to get that thing finished up. And what else? Oh, we have Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare on Thursday nights. That is on the one version. We've been working on that for about a month now. So, it's, great if you can join up with us Thursday nights, 10 o'clock, Fream Standard Time. We could always use the help. Other than that, I think that pretty much does it for this part of the show. Stay tuned for some other bits and bobs here, and keep listening and hanging out with us in the forums. Other than that, guys, we'll talk to you later. Have a good one. See ya.
Ooh. Hi, everybody, and welcome to What the Al with the RTTO. I am Big Al.
And I am Elroy. So, El, you feeling a little sleepy today?
Sorry, Elroy. I just woke up from a nap. As we record tonight, it is National Napping Day 2018.
Oh, yeah, I read about that earlier. It's a nap to encourage everyone to get caught up on that lost hour of sleep due to daylight savings.
Oh, I've never lost an hour of sleep in my life. I tend to find them very easily.
Well, that is true, El, but that reminds me, don't you take a nap every week before we record?
Maybe.
So, while I'm airing my grievances, you are always eating a sandwich while we were recording.
So what? I like sandwiches. Besides, how come it's okay for you to randomly eat celery during the show?
Yeah, you do know that's a sound effect, right?
A sound effect? Oh, am I embarrassed? I always thought you were just being rude and randomly eating celery or something.
Oh, no. That's when I'm crunching numbers. It's the sound effect of a crunch. See? Get it? Crunch. Crunching numbers. Yeah.
Got it.
Numbers. Yeah.
All right. Moving on. Did you know it's the 10-year anniversary of True Achievements?
Nope.
I've been a member of TA since September 2009. You've been a member since July 2017. I guess that's about 10 years combined. I'm also guessing if you and your G-Task partner Fufu Cuddly Poof had joined TA sooner and learned how to use it properly, you might have lasted a little longer.
Too soon.
In related news, I was perusing the interwebs and I came across an article called "The Myth of the Lonely Gamer Playing in Solitude is Dead."
Oh, yeah? What is it about?
It's about 20 paragraphs.
No.
Oh, tough crowd. No, actually, it's about gamers and their habits and how playing with friends is just as important as playing for entertainment.
Oh, interesting.
It also chronicles a few couples who met online and how they are happy years later.
Well, that is pretty cool. Do you know anybody that or any couples that met online?
Actually, I do. I know 2 ladies who met online thanks to True Achievements and their love of Gears of War, actually. And as a matter of fact, I was at their wedding. Their wedding cake was actually shaped like an Xbox. It was quite amazing. Now they share their lives together. Heck, I bet they do game sharing on the Xbox One now as well. Speaking of which, if only Foof had only better utilized...
Hey, no. Too soon, man. Too soon.
Oh, sorry.
Well, you ready for a March update?
I'm always ready.
All right, well, we are knee-deep into March, and it's getting insane. One could say it's madness. One could further say it's March Madness. For those of you that are not fortunate enough to live in America, March Madness is a collegiate basketball tournament held each year in which 64 teams, plus some playing teams that nobody cares about, are divided into 4 brackets of 16 and work their way to the Final Four and ultimately the championship.
Go sports! Move that thing to the other thing. Is it called basketball in other countries?
Well, I assume it's called handball in those lesser countries.
How so?
Well, the world adopted the American sport of soccer and decided to call it football, presumably since you use your foot. So handball seems to be the way they would interpret the game of basketball since you use your hands.
Ah, makes perfect sense, Shaquille O'Neal.
Thanks, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. So, it's time to reveal the RTDL bracket and see what matchups we have. It's RTDL Update, March Madness Edition. In our premier matchup, we have the top-seeded number 1 NBA Kirkland versus number 16 Proulx. A number 16 seed has never toppled a number 1 seed, and that streak looks intact as Wanda's husband enters the tournament with 20 wins worth almost 5,000 points. And Proulx barely made it in after a tough play-in game with Tropan.
What am I hearing? Is that Proulx is the honorable mention?
No, in this tournament, there are no honorable mentions here. They are all winners.
Except Proulx, because he is the honorable mention.
Well, NBA Kirkman looks to dominate Proulx. Because he has all the right moves. His RTDL collection has included many connected achievements, including Pops in Game Party and Motion and Fruit Ninja Connect 2. Further, he has what it takes to drive through the lanes, much like he drove flawlessly in Forza Horizon 3, where he has netted both the Fly Like a Regal and Online Adventurer achievements. Ultimately, this matchup will come down to just how sneaky good NBA Kirkland is. And most analysts think he is really freaking sneaky. He already has the hardware to prove it, with his Sneak King achievement from Sneak King. In the end, much like Proulx...
Improvement joke getting trampled 11 weeks ago?
No, but much like his Grand Theft Auto 5 waste management achievement, his team is an unmitigated dumpster fire, and NBA Kirkland will win in a blowout.
That analysis is full of garbage.
Our second matchup features second seed Old Man Fug versus number 15, the Dominator, Tommy.
Oh, that guy is freaking awesome.
Tommy or Fug.
Really? Tommy! Of course. Fug just smells like mothballs.
I must say that was not very nice.
Meh.
Fug enters the tournament with the most wins with 21, and many expect him to be focused and keep his head in the game, much like his level-headed achievement in MX vs. ATV Alive achievement. Unfortunately for him, Tommy feels right at home in the RTDO Stadium and gains a home field advantage, much like his home achievement in 3-Force Home.
Tommy is quite the homeboy.
Ultimately, the game comes down to the respective Pops and Master Chief collection. Fuggy McFugface holds true to his piece of cake Chivo and overlooks Tommy, who sticks to his feet firmly planted achievement and draws a charge late in the game, sealing the first upset of our tourney as the number 2 seed is toppled and the world sees old you he was. No idea what that means, but it was fucking awesome.
You did say fug, right?
Yep. The third matchup features a What the L superstar.
Is it RTDL bot?
No, it's Big L.
Oh,
yeah.
me.
Yeah, you. Number 3, Big L faces number 14, Nig Gamer. Big L looks to overpower his lesser opponent by going beast mode, much like to his brutal legend Chivo of Beastmaster, and will have many open looks after pushing his hard-to-say named opponent around, as evidenced by his Disney Pixar Brave achievement of Get Out of My Way. This tenacity will ultimately lead to a beaten down, beaten up Nig, much like his Master Chief achievement of Skull Taker Halo 2 Black Eye, and Big L will roll in a blowout.
Woohoo! Scoreboard, baby. Scoreboard.
Our fourth matchup is between another What the L superstar.
If it's not me, it has to be RTDL bot.
Nope, it's Elroy. Love that guy. Who is the number 4 seed, taking on number 13, Wakaki and Peel. Elroy has faced a tough schedule thus far, having popped the bulk of his list in reverse order, focusing on the harder opponents first. Many favor Elroy to win it all, but critics point out he ultimately doesn't have the big game experience and can never win the big one when facing opposition like the Galaga achievement that he will never get and will leave him short of his goals and Kiefer.
Aww.
Yeah. Fortunately for Elroy, Waka's top Chivos foul out with both Iron Fist from Quantum Break and Assault Expert from Battlefield Bad Company 2, causing the game to look something similar to what you would have seen on NBA 2K16 Prelude.
Not NBA 2K17 Prelude?
That is correct. That game is too busy playing Jet Force Gemini with Banjo and Kazooie. In hell. So yeah, unavailable you could say. Regardless, Elroy rolls on to the next round. The next matchup is between number 5 Kingsman and number 12 Shabubble Bobble. Historically in the tourney, 12 seeds are known for upsetting 5 seeds, and the RTDL bracket is no different. Number 5 Kingsmail has a bunch of winnings, such as split second Chivo of Winner and his turn on Chivo of Winner of Quadrocopters, or whatever that is. But ultimately, his list is just a curated smackling of cupcakes, and he is only knocked off the top half. So much like King's Gentleman's achievement from a rhyme.
Which one? He has literally 5 of those on his list. There is no rhyme or reason that should happen. Of the truth. The truth is that fate brought him in this path of Buzzsaw Shabubble Bobble, to whom King's demise was foreshadowed by Shabubub's achievement in F1 2015 of number 5. In the end, it was much like Shabubble's NBA Playground's achievement of keep it 100, as he drops 100 on the curating man of the king and keeps it hundy as he moves on in true upset fashion. Serves that curator right. No respect for those guys. None. I mean, it just makes me fighting mad.
Oh, man.
Who do they think they are? Freaking curators. No use for them. Useless.
Well, next, number 6, Mark B, and number 11, Elephant 77. Mark B has all the right moves, as evidenced by his Dirt 3 Chivo of Shake and Bake, and is not afraid to get dirty. I mean, he has 3 Chivos from Dirt 2 and 3 on his list already popped, and a 4th one still waiting on him. AL. Want to hear a dirty joke?
Oh, of course.
A white horse fell in the mud.
That one's a little tame. Do you know any dirtier ones?
Oh, yeah. All right, get this.
Yeah?
The horse fell in again.
Oh, my God.
Oh, yeah.
Speaking of dumpster fire, go on.
So yeah, Elephant 77. He was outmatched by Mark B and answered his own achievement from Minecraft of beginning ? With a resounding destruction from Battlefield Bad Company 2. Mark B wins this one easily.
Animal rights groups estimate that poachers in Africa kill between 25,000 and 35,000 elephants annually, meaning about 104 die a day. Shame on you, Mark B. Shame.
Our penultimate match has number 7 Toadstyle Venom facing off against number 10 Wazaniet. This is your typical match of speed versus skill. Wazaniet brings a lot of quickness to the RTDL with his Vancouver 2010 achievement of speed, but just lacks the depth needed. Toad, meanwhile, has the skills that pay the bills from Red Faction Battlegrounds and has better handles with his hands-on Chief Bro from the Expendables 2 video game. This epic matchup ends up in double overtime, but in the end, with the Army of 2 achievement of Fission Meld reign true, and Toad-style Venom survives the scare.
Man, that is some tucking terrible news.
And lastly, and leastly, we have the number 8 seed and the number 9 seed matchup of Skeptical Mario and Rocker Dead 5012, respectively. A repetition, and more repetition is the key to Rocker's list.
And pretty much all the jokes on this podcast.
Thanks, man.
Boing.
Bro.
America.
Such repetition has made Rocker Dude go soft. And with all the repeat games on his list, his skill set has diminished. Might it also be added his program has barely avoided RTDL sanctions as this curator was within kissing distance of the minimum of 1,000 on his list.
That kisses me off.
On the other hand, Skeptical Mario...
It's a him, a Mario.
...was able to climb far in the rankings with only 9 wins so far. He is all about the big wins, and according to his Marvel Ultimate Alliance Chivo, is quite the trickster.
Oh boy. Trickster? Didn't even know her.
However, this one trick pony was all he had. So, speaking of which, did you hear about that one pony that went to see the doctor?
Oh no, but this story has me on the edge of my seat.
He told the doctor he had a sore throat and thought he was going to die. Doctor said, "Don't worry about it. You're just a little horse."
Sounds like that doctor opened himself up to a potential lawsuit with such a dismissive diagnosis.
So yeah, Skeptical Mario, I guess, you could say he won his match. Not that anyone is keeping score, and that was your RTDL update, March Madness edition.
Wow, that was an amazing RTDL bracket preview. I can't wait to fill out my bracket.
I hope it makes all your swishes come true. At minimum, I hope you find the RTDL bracket entertaining. Anything else is, just a bonus.
Bonus, huh? That reminds me, if you and Foof had just used your
Too
bonuses...
Too soon.
Why am I craving Dunkin' Donuts?